Hello and welcome everybody to day 2 of Elgato Week. This one's gonna be fun. This is gonna
I'm
be
so
good.
pumped. I am so excited about what we're gonna be talking about today.
Hello. Hello, Bricks. Hello, Josh. Hello, everybody. Hello. How are you all doing today? Today, we launched 2 new things with software. One is technically coming next week, but we announced it today. So we launched Wavecast. So Wavecast is now available. Thank you so much to everybody who helped us beta test that, and it is now available on Elgato Marketplace. So maybe we can bring a command up in chat so you guys can check that out. We'll be doing a live demo. We have 2 PCs over there ready to show you a live demo of Wavecast. And we also announced Wavelink 3.0 today. That's
Didn't
big.
we just launch 2.0? I swear
That
that
was the
was
beginning of the
like
year.
2
That
weeks
was the
ago.
beginning of the year. We launched 2.0. But 3.0 is huge. It's reimagined. And we actually have Julian to join us today to talk all about it. Why are we taking this direction? And how is it going to help you use Wavelink even better? And also new users. I'm so
Yeah.
excited for new users. I think the onboarding is really cool. But we're going to get into that. Let's go ahead and let's bring Julian on.
Oh, we're going?
We're
That
going.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
let me just set
All
this up
right.
real quick. Output AirPods, perfect. All right. Now we can go ahead and switch over, and everybody say hello to Julian. Hi, Julian.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going? How are you doing today?
It is going great. Excited to be here.
Oh, this is we got a lot to talk about. But before we get into all the new exciting things, there's still new exciting things from yesterday. So I guess just to start off right away, I kind of want to talk about yesterday's launches. What do you think about Wave Mic Arm Mark II and Voice Focus? How do you think? I don't know. We just want to hear like what's your like perspective on everything that we launched yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not at all biased. So I think they're awesome. But Mic Mark II is we took a lot of feedback and we tried to implement just across the board as much as we could to create a worthy successor and a mic arm that just works for literally everybody. Um, and I think the end result is really good. When you look at the specs compared to Mark One, um, it has support for more microphones, more weight. It has more reach. It is at the same time lighter. It's got a better construction. It's more customizable. So it's literally better in every single way, I think, which is a great Mark II version. And then voice focus. Um, I think we all already knew that people like using it and that it's helping them a lot through the integration and wavelength that we've already had. And one of the requests we got frequently is like, "This is great. Can I use it with other mics and in other apps? And how can I get more of voice focus ultimately?" Um, so it's cool that we were able to team up with AI Acoustics and make this a standalone plugin that's now available to anybody. And I was watching some of the stream yesterday where Fabian, the CEO of AI Acoustics, was on, and they're a great team to work with and super friendly. Um, and it was quite wholesome to see the reaction in chat and how supportive
Mhm.
everybody was. So thank you for that if you were there yesterday. Um, but this is just it's a great collaboration where we're able to surface some pretty incredible technology and bring it to as many creators as possible. And I do think that voice focus at this point is the most sophisticated real-time voice processing you can get. You compare it to NVIDIA Broadcast or any other solutions that are out there. Um, this is more compatible on more systems, um, and more performant across the board. And one of the big things for us when we were looking to do this is, it's fairly easy at this point to remove background noise, like AI noise removal. But the question is, at what cost? And usually the cost is that your mic or your voice quality starts sounding a lot worse, and that's something we didn't want, right? It's like you're buying a dedicated mic for a reason. If we take out the room noise or the echo, but suddenly your mic doesn't sound good anymore, that doesn't work. So with voice focus, I think you get the best of everything, really.
Are you using it right now? That's the real question.
I am not using it right now because I'm in my own office here with a closed door. And so many old and new prototypes laying around that I got
Mhm.
pretty good acoustics here, I think. If not, let me know, then I can turn it
No, it
on.
sounds
No, yeah,
fantastic, but
sounds
of
great.
course you would, because I mean, you've got a Wave 3 there, so,
Yeah. I mean, I
I
yeah.
do.
also use voice focus conditionally. Like, I just like having like my little extra noises because I'm always doing stuff around the room. But when, there's the leaf blower outside, which is literally right outside the window, that's when I always just kick it on.
I
Yeah.
guess since we got started so quickly, as like a quick thing for everyone, who are you, Julian?
Who am I?
Oh, I
Well,
Yeah.
always skip
apparently,
intros.
Yeah.
We don't need
apparently I'm
intros.
apparently I'm John. I don't know.
John Elgato. Yeah.
My name is Julian. I'm the general manager here at Elgato, and I've been trying to steer the ship here for over 10 years now. And every year just kind of get more excited about the stuff we're launching and that we're able to build for creators, with a growing and really awesome team, building for an amazing community. And I always love participating in these streams, to spend time with you two. You have a really good on stream dynamic, which I'm almost sorry to disturb. And engaging with chat and hopefully answering a lot of questions and showing some cool stuff. And I'm especially excited today for the stuff that we're going to show off. It's very cool, I think.
I am as well. Should
Yeah.
we do a mini recap of we already talked
Yes.
about the Wave mic arm yesterday and voice focus. What about the rest of the week? I mean, besides today, what else is happening,
Yeah.
Burrito?
If we can see that calendar real quick. This is Elgato Week for anyone who hasn't heard what's going on yet. We're launching stuff every single day this week. Some days more than one thing. So yeah, yesterday we launched Wave Mic Arm Mark II, and then we also launched the standalone version of Voice Focus. Today, just this morning, we announced the Wavelink 3.0 beta that will be starting next week on the 16th. And also, we released Wavecast, so it's now available. Again, shout out to those beta testers. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we have more coming. We'll be streaming every single day this week, so make sure to join us starting at 10 a.m. PT, same time we started today, every single day. And if you speak French, Spanish, German, Japanese, or Portuguese, make sure to join us Monday, Tuesday next week. There'll be one stream per language between Monday and Tuesday next week. So yeah, and we'll also have a Discord stage event next Monday. But yeah, so stay tuned every day. We'll have a lot to talk about. But yeah,
I think that's enough chatting. Should we get into it?
let's get into it.
Okay.
Okay, should we let chat decide if we start with Wavecast or Wavelink 3.0 discussion?
No, we have to start with Wavelink.
Yeah,
Right, we
I
kind
think
of
we
have
have to.
Okay, all right. Wavelink 3.0. This might be kind of surprising for some people to see a new reimagined Wavelink that's going to be coming soon and that they can already start using next week on Windows and Mac. What was the inspiration for something like
Yeah.
to redesign Wavelink essentially?
Yeah, let me touch on that quickly, because it is interesting. We launched, like you mentioned earlier, Wavelink 2, I think in February of this year. This was a pretty big update. Um, and as we were working up to Wavelink 2.0, we kind of realized that some of the stuff we want to do is really difficult to build into the architecture of current Wavelink. And it really goes in both directions. So on the one hand, we wanted to make Wavelink more accessible to more people, to make it easier to use and really just get the power and the simplicity of just putting some effects on your microphone and using those in a game or a Discord call or something else. On the other hand, we have a lot of requests from power users that are asking for, I need more submixes, I need more this, I need more that. Trying to combine both of those things, so ease of use and really more complexity into the architecture of the shipping Wavelink was proving to be very, very difficult. So we made a decision sometime last year, that we're just going to start from scratch. We're going to throw it all away. Well, we're not throwing it away; it's still shipping, but we are in parallel, starting from scratch. And we use that opportunity to really go back to the drawing board and just say, okay, well, if we're doing Wavelink again with everything we've learned over the past years, and we did launch Wavelink 5 years ago.
2021 was it?
Wavelink was 2020.
That's
Or 2020?
Yeah,
Yeah.
5
2020.
years
It
ago.
was it
Yeah.
was the beginning of COVID. I remember that, where we launched Wavelink. And at that time, we had a very narrow focus. We were like, okay, this is for live streaming. you have a mix for yourself and you have a mix for your audience on stream. Um, and then we updated and iterated. And with this version of Wavelength, we're really trying to still support that use case, but also to support many, many other use cases. And the benefit of starting from scratch is, you can reimagine how things look. You can reimagine the tech stack. And we did all of that here. And I think personally, I think the end result is really cool. And what we're doing here is something that I think we've never done before. We're giving you kind of a first look at in development software next week for the start of TwitchCon. We're going to put it into public beta. You're going to get to play around with it. And then, based on your feedback, we're going to iterate and fine tune and gear up for a full release.
I think this is also going to be our largest ever beta, simply because one of the big new things with Wavelink, and we're going to talk more about that in a bit here, is that it works with any microphone. You do not need an Elgato microphone or an Elgato interface to use Wavelink 3.0. We'll dive into that, but because of that, if you're watching this and you're thinking, ooh, I would love to try this, then next week you absolutely can. So I think
You
with that
absolutely
being
can.
said, should we jump over to it?
Should,
Go through it?
should we show it off? Let's do it.
All right.
So I think what we're going to try to do is that Phil is going to be the technical director, and I'm going to narrate a little bit as he's walking us through the new software experience.
Yeah. So
All
this
right.
is Wavelink 3.0
Okay.
when you start it.
So here we are. I'm actually going to have to watch this on the stream now. I'm just realizing. So we're going to have to just try and make this work. All right. So maybe first thing you're going to do, Phil, is go into settings and put us into dark mode.
Ooh, okay, chat. Okay, chat. Light mode, dark mode. Let us know in the chat, which one do you prefer? This is actually something that's new already. Dark mode, the current version of Wavelink 2.0 is only available in dark mode. Now, Wavelink is also available in light mode for the two of you that enjoy that. So you can see here.
apparently you're one of them. So we built this for you, Phil.
Actually, this was all part of the plan to show it off. So you do have a choice here, same as system, or you can just go to dark mode and check that out. It immediately transitions, no relaunch or anything. It looks incredible.
That looks better. Okay. So we are looking at Wavelink on Windows right now. And, one of the things we decided to do out of the gate is to start using native frameworks. That means Wavelink on Windows is built using WinUI, and Wavelink on Mac is built using SwiftUI. So, the interface, the user interface as a result is, in my opinion, just more fluid. It's prettier. It's a little bit more aesthetic. It's faster. And so this was a change to the current Wavelink, which is built on a cross-platform framework, and now the new Wavelink is all native. This is part of a larger trend you might have seen with Elgato Studio that we're working on, our video software that also is native on both platforms. So out of the gate, when you open up Wavelink, you're going to have a lot more hand holding. So if you are a user that is, maybe not so experienced with a dedicated microphone or audio hardware or just a digital mixing software, you're going to get a lot more hand holding. So Phil, you can just kind of get started through the onboarding, and ultimately you're going to be introduced to the capabilities of your hardware device.
I think that's
what it can do.
actually really important. A lot of you, when you get your microphone, you might plug it in and just kind of go without you ever reading the manual. Well, now you have a manual right here, and it's really beautifully done. In fact, something that it's still a beta, so there's still work in progress parts. Something that we're doing is we're going to show you these little videos of how each function of your microphone works. So you're going to know exactly where you can mute and unmute. You're going to know how to attach it to a mic arm, where to set the input gain, how to control, the three different controls that you have on the front of your Wave 3, and all of this, and then you'll be immediately familiar with the product that you just purchased.
Exactly. Yeah, I see it now. Perfect. And yeah, obviously, if you know what you're doing, you can skip this. You don't need to go through this, but it is very nice. It'll also hold your hand through, okay, connect your headphones, can you hear something? It'll tell you how to position your mic. We tend to go with this rule. You should be about this far away when speaking into your microphone. Doesn't matter if it's condenser or dynamic, a lot of myths around that. You need to be this close to a condenser microphone as well. Most people who struggle with condenser microphones don't do this right and then say, well, that's a different story. Um, it'll help you set your gain, right? So I think, Phil, in this
Test,
case, I'll
test,
let you
test,
speak into
test.
the mic a bit.
Yeah, if I say test, test here, you can see that as I'm just speaking normally here, I'm actually pretty good already in terms of the levels here, right? I'm bouncing just around or hitting that sweet spot there. If I was too low, then obviously that's not good. I can adjust the gain to, and then I can turn it higher, and then also immediately turn on something like gain lock. And this is also something that's new in Wavelength 3.0 is we have these built-in really nice tooltips here that again just look beautiful and tell you immediately you know what uh,
Yep.
what setting you're changing there.
Yep.
So
And then we
we'll set
go
the
through
gain
the
and
rest of the
then
onboarding, voice
yeah.
monitoring. Yeah. Similar story. It'll help guide you through. This is also not clear to a lot of people because you're kind of cross-fading between monitoring just your PC to just your mic, or you get a mix of both in between. So it'll help you set that up. Okay, and then you're done. Then you get thrown into first of all the device view of Wavelink, which is new, right? In the current Wavelink, you're thrown straight into a mixer view with submixes and everything out of the gate. Now you have a dedicated device view where you can configure all of your hardware settings, your obviously your gain, your headphone output, your mic PC mix. Um, you have we maybe get to sound check later. So
Hmm.
if you switch to effects, this is where you're going to be able to control hardware effects and software effects. So hardware effects are going to be things that are built into the microphone. So in the case of a Wave 3, it has clip guard built in. It has a low cut filter built in. These are hardware effects that you can control. Future hardware may or may not have more hardware effects. We'll see. And then you can also control software effects because this is a Wave 3. Voice Focus is already pre-installed and set up. So you literally just toggle it on, and then you've got the entire power of Voice Focus ready to go. Um, on the add effect, this is where you can add additional VSTs, right? So, Phil might just add the compressor, for example, and now that'll pop up with the configuration window somewhere.
If it decides to let's see.
Is it on a different monitor somewhere?
Nope, this is a beta after
No,
all, so
just not.
sometimes we're gonna see this kind of stuff
Okay.
happen.
So we'll not show you the VST configuration, but that's where it would show up. We'll get it running later. So this is where you can layer effects onto your microphone. So this is really, if you are somebody that's just looking to have a great sounding microphone um, in any app, then this is the easiest way to do it now, right? You just do it all within your device tab. Um, we have sound check that's carrying over, which is a very cool feature. Basically, you talk into your microphone, and then you can tweak the effects as you play back, right? So you don't need to keep recording and re-listening. You can just basically loop that sample of your voice into your headphones and then adjust the effects in real time until it sounds good to you. So there's a really, really nice way, an easy way to optimize your microphone. And obviously everything is cross-linked, right? So Phil, if you mute the Wave 3 on the hardware
Yep.
now, then you'll see that's immediately mirrored in the software. So obviously everything is interconnected here. Um, if you wanted to get more plugins, maybe you can click on the little marketplace button on the top left, bottom
This is
left.
huge.
So this is nice, right? So now you have marketplace integrated directly into the app. It's not opening an external browser. So if you want to add voice effects, if you want to download some presets, then you can do that straight here. And if you just click on voice effects, for example, it knows you're on Windows and it'll give you all the voice effects that we have available. So if you wanted to add something like a Call of Duty VST, then this is where you would do that. And it's kind of hard for me to see, but at this point, probably the Call of Duty VST is now there, exactly. So it's a very smooth and easy process to level up your microphone or your audio interface. And the catalog of really high quality VSTs on marketplace continues growing, and I think over time we'll also work with more and more creators to create presets. So if you don't want to tune the stuff yourself, simply go to marketplace, download a preset for your microphone, and be on your way. All right, so that's kind of the um, the easy part of Wavelength 3 in a way. It's a dedicated device view. If that's what you're after, then this is now much more intuitive. Now, where it gets interesting is the mixer view,
Before
which
we
we're going to
jump into
dive
that,
into
we
now.
have a bunch of questions.
We have a bunch of questions. Okay, let's get to
Yeah.
Yeah.
some questions and then let's get
Uh,
into the mixer because the mixer is awesome.
yeah. First question: is this the demo, the little like setup guide? Does that show up one time or every time when you click on the device?
So it only shows up one time. You can go into the preferences though and replay it if you would like to replay it. But we definitely won't be annoying you with this onboarding every single time you start the app or connect the device.
And then Underscode asks, can you show the Mac UI? Sorry, the Mac app too. Is the UI the same? We actually will be showing this later today, so stay tuned. Um, and then
Yeah, the Mac
Jake,
app is very similar, right? It's not exactly the same because we aren't using native frameworks here. So the Mac app is built in Swift UI. By nature, it looks slightly different, but the logic is all the same.
yep. And then Jake says, what about Elgato DX? No guide, right? Well, Wave DX doesn't have onboard controls, and it goes in
Yeah.
through whatever audio mixer you're using, something like Wave XLR, but something like Wave XLR would have that guide.
That's actually a really good
Yeah,
question. If you have a Wave DX and a Wave XLR, could you select in a drop down like Wave DX and then as your mic or maybe a different one? That'd be cool.
that would be cool. And then Double asks, can we import current settings from Wavelength 2.0 to Wavelength 3.0?
So that's a no. So much has changed
Well,
under the hood there. Well,
it's an interesting question. It's a maybe. Um, and to be brutally honest with you here, like we're gonna do it if it's feasible. But what I told the team, if it's way too complicated, then realistically it's gonna take you a few minutes to reconfigure in Wavelength 3. And I know it's annoying, but I'd rather focus on enhancing the Wavelength 3 experience and spending a bunch of time on a settings import. And also we need the settings import then to be obviously 100% functional. If it only imports some of your settings some of the time, that's not good enough. So this is something we're actively looking into right now. As of today, when you download Wavelength 3 or next week, you will start with a blank slate. So it will not be carrying over any Wavelength 2 settings. Maybe by the time the final release comes around, that will be the case.
here's a quick personal thought on that though. Just from my perspective, if you if we upgrade the settings, um, there's also for you as a viewer, there's maybe no incentive to kind of learn all that's new in Wavelength, right? You just upgrade, you're like, okay, cool, it works as I, have, and I'm good to go. However, what we're about to talk about here, this new mixes and effects panel, there's some pretty cool new things in there and a lot of new power that you then essentially might miss out on unless you, then go exploring. So there's kind of upsides and downsides to both. And as Julian mentioned, we're still looking into if it's even technically feasible. There's a lot of settings.
Then we have a question from Multi who says, I can download now. This is the
No.
beta that we're showing you right now, but it comes out next week on the 16th. So stay tuned. You'll be able to get this on the 16th. And actually, this will be free for everybody. So the next question actually I have here is this a free update or a one-off purchase? This is a free update. And not only is it free, but those of you who didn't have access to Wavelength before, because maybe you didn't have the correct hardware to unlock it, you will now be able to use Wavelength with Wavelength 3.0. So not only will all of you who are already using Wavelength get to use the beta next week, everybody will get to use the beta next week, including Mac and Windows. And then
Maybe I can ask a follow-up question to that. To Julian, since you're here, it's like why is Wavelength, now going free and, can be used with any microphone as before it wasn't?
Yeah, it's a really good question. We talked about this a lot, but really, I think we're building something here that's so universally useful that we want more people to be able to use it. It's as simple as that. And so gating it between a purchase of our hardware is obviously quite limiting. If the price to entry is $150 Wave 3 or $150 Wave XLR, that's a little bit less accessible than free. And there are still various benefits of using Wavelink with Elgato hardware that we can talk about later. Um, but especially the core mixing um, and effect processing engine is going to be free for everybody, and that's pretty cool. Also for us, I think the first time we've done something like this, this complete decoupling. So I'm excited to see what the adoption looks like.
Yep. And then we have a question from Chris. How hard is it to keep the platforms in sync development wise with Studio and Wavelength 3 being Swift and WinUI?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that easy. I mean, that's why many years ago we moved to cross-platform in order to, kind of counteract the complexity of keeping two native apps or multiple native apps in sync in parallel. So it's not easy, and there might be instances where one operating system has features the other one doesn't, and that's you know I think just a um, kind of a natural part of the process, but I also think that's okay. Part of going native is that we're going to accept that the apps will diverge in some senses. Sometimes that's because one operating system has capabilities that the other one doesn't have, or just has, better APIs that we can tap into, or whatever it ends up being. But maybe to answer your question, is it easy? No, but we're going to do it anyways.
It also makes it feel like a first-class citizen, right? If you're on a Mac and there's Mac-specific features that, maybe you bought your new MacBook Pro and you want to use those features, well, then we should also make the effort to support those. And same on the Windows side. If there's things that are added in Windows, then, if we can support those, we should. And that's where you'll get the split. And, there you have a choice as well. Are you on Windows? Are you on Mac? Um, and again, Wavelink should, in the grand scheme, feel very similar, but feel nice and fast, and again, like a native application uh, to that operating system.
Funny enough, as we've been answering questions, we started at 11 and we've been answering, and now we're at 16. So let's keep answering some of these questions real quick.
We haven't even gotten to the best part yet,
I
I think,
know.
personally.
Mm.
Mana says, will Stream Deck Plus still power Wavelength 3.0? But Wavelength 3.0
Uh,
is now available for everybody, so you don't have to
yeah.
worry about that anymore. But you can still control it with Stream Deck. So
Yeah, if the question is around how do you control Wavelink and especially the mixer stuff we're going to get into, yes, Stream Deck is going to be your best friend.
mhm.
And we're also working on an entirely new experience of controlling Wavelink on Stream Deck that we're not going to show today, but that you'll also be able to get in beta soon. And it's looking very, very cool.
Yep. I mean, that's answers King's question. Are we receiving any support for Stream Deck to use for sound? There's been the Wavelength plugin, but yes, that will be reimagined. There's a couple questions about the software itself. I'm going to save those for when they start doing the demo. And in the meantime, will the setup work for non-Elgato devices? Yes, you can use other microphones, other devices. And actually, one of my favorite things about Wavelength 3.0 is you can now use multiple Elgato devices. So that's super exciting. I know that some of you have been asking for that, and Wavelength 3.0 will unlock that.
Yeah.
Vic, we kind of answered your question about Stream Deck and how it will control it. It'll get a revised
This was
plugin.
the multi-device one was a good one where, we got that request a lot, and it's an obvious thing. Like, hey, I have two Elgato microphones. Why can't I use them? Shortcoming of the current Wavelink architecture. One of the many reasons why we decided to just kind of start over.
And then Multi says, are there any known issues with the beta and workarounds that they can expect? That information will be on the Reddit, that
Yes,
master
yep.
thread for the beta. So as you're getting into that beta next week, definitely make sure to stay on the Reddit. Also share your feedback as well, and any issues that you find, so that our team can go ahead and fix those. Will various plugins and controls for Wavelink input and output levels be ready at launch, or will the devs need to update their plugins?
So if we're talking about Stream Deck specifically, we won't have the plugin available in the Wavelength 3.0 beta. If you're talking about like other plugins, like more like VST plugins, I mean those work today, right? So those work today. I'm not sure if there's other like input output level controls. I think hopefully I answered that question.
And then next question by Supreme: How will voice focus work with other XLR mics like Shure SM7B? Well, if you
That
have that
we can actually
connected,
show that once we're in the mixer view.
hmm if
But yeah,
you
yeah.
yeah, if you have that
Yeah,
connected through Wave
maybe
XLR though. Oh, go ahead.
a note on third-party devices. Right, so the device you're seeing now, that you will only get with Elgato hardware. So this is bespoke native integration, which in the future maybe we will do for non-Elgato audio inputs, whether it's microphones or interfaces. And SM7B would never be part of that because it needs to go through an audio interface. So it would be whatever audio interfaces we support. So if you want this level of device control, that's where having an Elgato audio device is very helpful.
Yep. LA Game asks, how does the multiple mic input work? We'll go ahead and show
That's a
that.
great segue to, I think, maybe our
We have
next.
so many questions, Phil.
I think we just need
Please let me
to.
get through the
Okay,
questions.
okay.
Yeah, we'll showcase that. And then Zinc asks, will this only work for standalone mics? So no headset mics, you can use any input. So yes, you can actually use your headset mics.
It could be your laptop mic. It could be your AirPod mics. It could be anything. I mean, if you have a webcam that has a mic on it, that could go into Wavelink at this point. It's anything, any audio input, a capture card as well. Could be an Elgato capture card. Could also not be an Elgato capture card. Audio interface does not matter as long as it can bring audio in. You can bring that into Wavelink.
Yep. And then I'm going to answer a really quick Wavecast question. Wavecast is Windows only, so unfortunately you will not be able to use that for Mac. But thank you for your feedback. We will take that into consideration.
Julian said webcam mics are illegal. Not in so many words. You won't find them on Elgato
Even webcam
webcams.
mics are supported in Wavelink. If we could sort of blacklist those, I think I would. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Although probably voice focus could even save a webcam mic. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Nick asks, will you be able to change the sample rate in 3.0?
That is a great question. At the moment, no. It runs at a single 1. In Wavelink 2, we had the option of 44.1 or 48, or even 96 based on which device you were using. We'll have to come back to you on that. My kind of gut feeling right now is going to be no. It's probably just going to be 48 kilohertz, which is pretty much the standard.
Yep. And then Dre asks us to confirm that with Wavelink 3.0, that voice focus is still free as long as you have, the eligible devices. And yes, you're still going to have voice focus. So no worries.
So nothing's changing there compared to Wavelink 2, right? So if you have Wavelink 2 today, you're using voice focus, you install Wavelink 3, same exact behavior there, same thing.
Yes. And I'm going to answer it. Oh, go ahead.
Just as far as I know, we're not taking away anything. You're only getting more functionality and more features and more cool stuff. You're not losing anything.
Yes. Speaking of more features, I'm going to answer it again because I see everybody in chat asking and answering each other. Yes, Wavelink will be free for everybody with Wavelink 3.0 on Windows and Mac. You do not need to have like an eligible Elgato device anymore. You'll be able to use it. Like everybody can use it, even when the devices are not connected. So that's really cool, huge, and exciting. And with that being said, we did get down to 6 questions. So there's still more coming in. I haven't even queued more since then. I will continue queuing your questions.
All right, I have a challenge for chat then. I'm sorry, I have a challenge for chat. Chat, stop asking questions, and then we can show you the really cool new mixer view.
Yeah, so I'll keep
Yeah,
queuing while
we
they're
haven't even
demoing.
started with the part you want to ask questions
And
about.
there's still more. But I will continue queuing while they're demoing, and then once they're done demoing, we'll continue answering questions. And then as they answer things, I might clear questions from the queue if they're answering it on the demo, or I'll pop it up as they're answering it so you can see that they're answering your question. But yeah, thank you guys for the incredible questions. Let's go back to the demo.
Let's go back to the demo. All right, let's hit the mixer, Phil.
Let's hit the mixer. All right. Here we are.
And maybe just increase the size of the window a little bit for this. And this looks pretty unassuming now, but there were 2 pieces of feedback that we got consistently from Wavelink users. One, you want more submixes. 2 is not enough. And the second piece of feedback is you want effectively a routing table, right? That was a recurring theme. Now, what I think we've done here is we've managed to combine both of those requirements into a fairly elegant user interface, and a very intuitive one. So what you have right now is a single mix, your personal mix, and a single channel, which is your Wave 3 microphone. If you wanted to add things to this mix, then Phil is just going to add some channels. You just get a drop down with all your available hardware and software devices
I
that are playing
probably
audio.
should
Phil has
actually.
literally nothing open to play audio. Great stream preparation here. We won't hold it against him. We'll just give him some time to open some apps. And now these magically appear, right? So now
Or magically
you
disappear.
have killed it. That's not good.
Like, I think we'll repeat this a couple times on the stream, but this is a live demo of beta software.
Okay.
So there we
So
go. We're
okay,
back.
so now Spotify is running into the mix. All right, let's add one more thing.
Let's see. We'll
Maybe,
add
yeah, you can add
Discord.
Stream Deck and just if you've got, okay, add Discord. Maybe we can add Stream Deck with a soundboard action if you've got any audio that you could put on.
The
There we go.
and
All right, so let's add Stream Deck. That'll be our soundboard. And let's leave it at that for now. Okay, so now we've got these three apps as part of our mix. Now, if you want to add them, they're basically configured now. If you want to add them into your mix, you just click plus wherever you want to add them. So Spotify, we want to have, great. Discord, we want to have. Stream Deck, we want to have. If you press a button on the Stream Deck now, Phil, then that audio will immediately come into the mix. Okay, so now we've got basically our local mix. This is what Phil would be hearing now. He'd be hearing a mix of music, Discord, Stream Deck, and whatever else he wants to add. Now, let's add a second mix. It's as easy as that. You hit this plus button, boom. Now you've got a second mix. All right. This could be now your stream mix or your chat mix or your recording mix or whatever you want to do. If you want to add any of these apps into the second mix, again, you just hit the plus button. So do we want our mic in the stream mix? Yes. Do we want Spotify? Yes. Discord, maybe we don't, but we do want our soundboard, so plus. Okay, great. So now we've got our stream mix configured. You've also got some nice little details. So maybe for the stream mix, we don't want it to have the icon 2. We want to customize that a little bit. So we can go in there and just take an icon like the Twitch, right? We're live on Twitch. This is what we're going to use for the stream mix. Great. All right. Maybe we need a third mix, right? We need a mix to run actually back into Discord, which is going to only be our microphone and our soundboard. Yep. So called chat. Give it a suitable icon. Add the microphone. Add the soundboard. Okay, there's our third mix. Maybe we need a fourth mix. All right. You see where this is going. And we're going to leave the fourth mix for now, but you can add 5 submixes. As far as I'm aware, there is no other app that can do this, where you can just simply create 5 independent submixes on the fly. Wavelink makes this really, really easy. So create up to 5 mixes. Great. You can add a whole lot of stuff into each mix, right? So we can add another channel. And maybe you put in a capture card, right? So this would be a hardware input. You can add, I believe, up to 4 hardware inputs, and you
Yep.
have 8 virtual inputs. The other thing you can do is you can group channels, right? So if you wanted, yeah, exactly. So if you open up Zoom, then maybe add that in with Discord. So you go in, you add an app, Zoom. Okay, so that's in the same channel as Discord now. That means you're controlling volume for both of these apps. You can see some of the nice subtle animations, right? So you can adjust the volume per mix with the slider, or you could do it across all of the mixes. So you're really adjusting the volume of the channel. So ultimately, what you have here is you have a highly functional routing table. Essentially, what this is to me is a function. It's a routing table that doesn't just show you where audio is going, but gives you complete control over it. So you've got access to volume for everything. You can mute everything right here. You can add and remove channels from mixes super easily. You can change what you're listening to, right? If you want to change from your personal mix to your stream mix to your chat mix to your VOD track, to see, okay, what does this actually sound like? Is this good? Just one click. Um, and of course, there's more, right? So you go on a mix, um, and you can add as many outputs or kind of routing endpoints to this mix as you want. So if you want your mix to go to your headphones and at the same time to a hardware audio output to route it somewhere else, you could do that. You can add as many outputs as you want. I, for example, have 3 audio outputs set up because I've got a setup at the office, a setup at home, and so I have, Wave 3, Wave XLR, and then I have my MacBook speakers, and it kind of figures out, okay, which one is active, and then I get audio output there. If it's not available, it'll go to the next output option, and if neither of my hardware devices are available, just default to playing over the speakers. So, you can automate a lot more than you can in the current Wavelink, which is also really nice. Um, Now you can also add effects to every channel. So you see that little green icon next to Wave 3, that shows you that a software effect is running there. In this case, we've got the compressor, the EQ, um, and voice focus, but that's not active. Um, Now it is. And you could do that for any channel, right? So if you wanted to, like what was being shown yesterday, add voice focus to a Discord call, um, or a compressor to your Stream Deck, um, then you can do that as well, right? So you can add VSTs or audio units to any channel, right? So in this case, voice focus onto Discord or Zoom. Um, so again, super flexible, really powerful, and all in one really simple view. What you see at the top there, that drop down, is what your main listening device is going to be. So this would be, very easy to move between headphones and speakers if you just wanted to toggle that for everything, basically for the where the app is outputting audio to. Um, so yeah, this mixer view, it looks simple in the end, um, but distilling so much audio complexity into what I think is a very simple and intuitive user interface was actually fairly challenging, and I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. Um, there's another couple of tricks that we currently have in the Mac version that aren't in the Windows version yet that are pretty fun, but maybe we can show those later. Um, and maybe this is a good time to pause and stop for some questions and see if there's
I
anything
think
you guys want to know more about.
I think right before that, what we may also want to show here is, let's say you've configured all of these mixes, right? So how would you bring these into an application like OBS? So I'm going to go ahead and open OBS, and I mean, there's a multiple different methods, but essentially, it's the same thing as if you were adding a microphone, right? So you could add an audio input capture, and then select the mix here. And the cool thing is these mixes have the same name that you set within Stream Deck, right? So you can see here there's chat, there's the personal mix, there's the stream mix here, there's the VOD track here, right? So for example, if here, I want to add in my stream mix, then boom, there we go. Now that's in there, and that's in OBS, right? It's just that mix too, and it's just everything that I've added into the stream mix and Wavelink.
And what's
So
also
super
nice is we
simple.
will dynamically add and remove these virtual devices from your Windows audio settings. So if you create 5 mixes, but you delete 3 of them, you're not going to be stuck with all these random virtual audio devices anymore. Only the ones that you've actually set up.
Yep. So yeah, it's incredibly simple. It's incredibly intuitive, and given the amount of sources that you guys keep, wanting to add in, the original wavelength view was nice, but once you started adding things like 9 different inputs into there, it started getting quite wide and quite complicated. So this routing table gives you that really nice, just easy overview of all your levels. And we've paid a lot of attention to little details. If you're adjusting the level, you have this nice little visual representation here immediately of what that level is, and that only shows up when you're moving, when you're moving your mouse and you've clicked it. Once you let go, it goes away. You see your levels right there of your audio coming in. You see it pre-fader, or essentially what the raw audio is. You see it afterwards. You can also change what that view is. I think I showed it earlier, but you can show it as percentages as well if you're into that. So there's lots of little touches here. You can change the icon, you can change the name, basically everything to really customize this to make you more efficient when you're broadcasting, when you're recording, doing a podcast, whatever it might be. All right, I think with that, do we have, there's probably no questions, right, chat? I mean, you all know, you all understand this. It's pretty exciting.
Do we have questions? Do we have questions? I will say though, the questions, what I love is that they're not like confused. They just want to know so much more. I have 44 questions and I'm still not, I keep scrolling and I'm still not at the bottom of our feed. So I'm going to give both Julian and Phil a disclaimer here. I am like adding questions. I cannot like think about these questions right now because there's so many. I have to focus on this. So as I'm asking these questions, I'm asking them to you guys. Okay? You got me there? All right. Let's go through questions. All right. First question. Does this bypass the audio pipeline of Windows for lower latency?
Yeah. So this uses this newer architecture that we also somewhat implemented in Wavelength 2, where the applications are basically captured differently. So yes, the latency is lower on Wavelength 3.
All right. Next question. What happens if I have an effect on the device and in the channel?
The effect from the device will simply, well, basically you're seeing your device view here, right? So it is a mirror of what you've configured in the device view. That will just carry over.
So if I remove the Elgato EQ and Elgato compressor, if I then go to the Wave 3 here, you'll see it also removed them here, right? So that's the same thing. It's just a little bit easier to, it's quicker to access the effects here.
Okay.
Yeah, and keep in mind the device view is also very specifically for people who don't want to be messing with mixes. They maybe like the idea of putting an EQ and a compressor on their mic, but that's about it. They're not really interested in submixes or routing tables or anything like that.
Yep. Then we have, can you also change hardware effects in soundcheck playback?
Yeah, so that's actually how it works by design, right? So so you can record a little sample, and then once you're done recording, hit play, and then if you're over in the effects tab here, as you toggle these on and off, these effects are being added in real time, and you can hear, if you record a short 5-second sample of yourself saying something, you'll hear that the effects turning on and off, or as you change the settings. So it's applying those in real time so you can hear it. The thing here is, though, you want to be able to hear yourself also without speaking. Of course, you could speak and then, monitor that, but that's not the same thing as just recording a quick clip, checking what you sound like, and then, moving on.
All right. Next question. Will Wavelength 3.0 feature any form of audio ducking?
Not natively. You can probably achieve that through VSTs, but ducking is something we're actively looking at, and what the best way to implement this would be. So in this current version that you're looking at, no, there's no ducking. But in the future, there will most likely be ducking, yes.
All right. Next question. What if I want to split inputs for video editing?
Then
Split
you would
inputs.
create basically separate mixes, and just route whatever you want into each mix, and then do whatever you want with the mix, right? You could have one for streaming and one for recording, and then post-production, if that makes sense.
So if you're using OBS, for example, here, you could, assign you could do like a VOD track and then a stream track, and then maybe you could do like a clean capture, which doesn't have any game audio in it, something like that. And then in OBS, you could record those, into different audio tracks for later. So you've got the mixes configured in Wavelink, and then in OBS or in other applications, I think Meld actually just added multi-track recording. then you can do that in there.
All right. Next question. Do you still use Rogue Amoeba Arc for audio routing slash processing on Mac?
No, so on Mac, this is now all core audio, so Mac OS native.
Next question. What is the reasoning behind limiting the maximum number of submixes to 5?
Of course, this would come up.
It's never enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is never enough. I'm not sure if there is a super hard technical limit. That's something we need to go back to the team and check. Um, I think if you need more than 5 mixes, that is an interesting use case that I would love to understand. We're coming from 2, and I think 5 is quite a lot. So would love to know what you're intending to do with 5 independent mixes.
And that's what you can share in the Reddit for the beta. Next question. Is this update going to completely replace Wavelength 2.0, or is it going to be a completely new install, and do we need to uninstall Wavelength 2.0?
You will need to.
This is a
Yeah.
completely new install. That's correct. And I think the Wavelength 3 install will handle the Wavelength 2 uninstall for you.
Yep. I also saw somebody asking where we're pulling questions from. We're pulling questions from everywhere. This is just the order of the queue I have right now. So yeah, ask your questions on either chat. I am pulling them. I promise. We have 48 questions queued.
Wow.
And I'm trying
Okay.
not to do repeats too. There may be a few in there, but I'm trying not to do repeats.
I think that might be a record.
That's a record.
Yeah.
Does the mic FX output still exist?
That's a great question.
Not
actually.
directly, because you don't need it anymore, because now you just have a mix that you allocate to your mic, right? So you could call it, right here, it's called chat. You could call it mic FX if you like that name. But basically, the microphone FX channel in the current wavelength is a bit of a hack. It was a way for us to kind of work around our 2 submix limit, where we allow you to route only the soundboard channel into your microphone. So you could use that as sort of a limited third submix. In Wavelength 3, you get 5 completely independent submixes. If you want to make one of those a mic FX channel, by all means. That's how I have it set up. I have a local monitoring mix, I have a stream mix, and I have exactly that mic FX mix, which is what I would use in like a Zoom call or a Teams meeting or something like that.
All right. Next question. Will there be ASIO support?
No.
All right.
No, the answer to that is no. And something we can keep looking into, but for now, that's not planned.
Yep. Somebody says they've had issues where rarely programs they launch automatically get added to their game output in 2.0, which OBS picks up. Is this going to be fixed for 3.0?
Most likely, yes, because I mean, basically, it's so different. If you've experienced something that is a bug or just some sort of oddity, you're likely not going to experience that in Wavelength 3 just because it's so different from the ground up.
Yep. Vic asks, if I'm listening, do I need to have my mic add my mic to that channel?
That's a really good and really important question. So the answer is you don't need to. What happens when you add your microphone to a channel or to a mix that you're listening to is then you're listening to you have software monitoring of your microphone. So the benefit is that you'll be able to listen to your microphone with all the software processing you might have on it. The downside is there's going to be some latency, right? So you're going to hear your own voice with some latency, which generally I think is not something you want to have running all the time. But for example, in the configuration here, where the Wave 3 is in the personal mix, the way you would normally have this set up is you would have that muted in your personal mix, so you're not hearing that. But if you want to check in to see, okay, are my VSTs running? I have a voice changer on. Is it working? You could simply unmute it. Then you're listening to yourself in not quite real time, and then you could turn it off again. So the answer is you probably don't want to have that on all the time. You don't need to have your mic in a mix you're just listening to at all, but you can.
Okay. Next question: do mixes show up in apps as inputs?
Yes.
They sure do. So for example, we could use Discord here. So if we go to Discord, we go to voice and video, we go to input device, you'll see here there's just the hardware, Wave 3, then there's the personal mix, there's Wavecast, which we'll get to, there's stream mix, there's the chat mix. So this is that chat mix that I made earlier, and this is what, if you're using Wavelength 2.0, microphone effects, right? This is that one there. Um, so, could just select that, and there we go. That's my input device.
Right?
Yeah. And maybe a follow up question from Vic.
Yeah.
What if I want people to hear me, but I don't want to hear myself? Then you'd basically use one of the other mixes, right? So um, you'd then use the stream mix or something where your microphone is being fed out, but you're not listening to that microphone. At the end of the day, if you want to hear exactly the same thing as your audience, except for the microphone, you just have all the same channels, right? So if you take the stream mix now and you add Discord, Zoom is the only thing. Well, that one you wouldn't add because then basically the people you're talking to would hear themselves, right? So delete that again. But then yeah, you'd have your stream mix, and this is what you would use as basically your microphone in Discord or something like that. Then they hear your microphone. You don't hear it yourself, other than potentially the hardware monitoring that you have going on over the hardware natively.
Right. And then we have a question from underscore: do mixes show up in apps? I already answered that. Me when I lie. um, Next question: can input devices, Wave 3 or Wave XLR, be combined with apps in a single channel? And if not, would it be a good idea to link channels so they can mute and unmute together?
Today they cannot. So a hardware input, you essentially have one hardware input occupies a channel. Those can't be combined the same way that you can with apps. Linking is also not implemented yet. It's something that was in Wavelength 2.0. And something we'll look at, if you link two channels or basically across an entire, uh, maybe even link other ones, right? Maybe you could do like some sort of grouping or something like that. That's something
Yeah, I mean,
for
the
the
way you'd
future.
handle linking today is, let's take Stream Deck, for example. You have it in 3 mixes. You would kinda set the volume in each mix, and then if you adjust the master, then it's kinda adjusting, more or less the linked ratio of those.
And then from semicolons, how many channels can you have?
So you can have 4 hardware channels and 8, software channels. And within the software channels, you can group apps, so you can route essentially infinite apps. So there's and all of that split into 5 mixes. So there's a whole lot of mixing you can do here.
And with the grouping, it makes it easy, right? You might have one which is all of your games. So you add your first game, and then when you have another game, you simply add it to that same mix. And so you're not using up one of those channels, you're simply adding it to that game one that you've kind of dedicated. Or, in the case of Discord and Zoom here, maybe if I start using Teams as well, or I start using TeamSpeak or whatever, right? I might just add that in here, and then that way I've kind of grouped all of my voice chat apps uh, together.
Yeah. I also just want to show this message real quick from Josh. Oh, that makes so much sense. And then they said it just clicked. I will
Which
say,
part?
um, well, just generally, I think
Oh.
for Wavelength 3.0, I know that when I first saw it, I was like, wow, like this is new, this is different, like it's gonna take me a moment. There will be a little bit of a learning curve. We're gonna do our best to try to make it as easy and painless as possible for you to understand this new system. We understand that it's fresh, but yeah, we're gonna work really hard to make sure that all the video content and streams and informational sessions like this that you need to fully like onboard onto Wavelength 3.0 and get it and use it to its full capability, we will make sure that you have that. So yeah, I'm glad
Yeah.
that some of you are clicking. And for those of you who are still like trying to figure it out, I promise we will do our best to handhold
Yeah,
you and
don't
help you understand.
don't worry. I think once you get the hang of how this kind of routing, this actionable routing table works, then it's pretty intuitive. Maybe in the beginning it looks overwhelming, but you can also, you can build it up. You start with just your microphone and maybe Spotify in a single mix, and then you can build up from there, and you can add more sources to your mix, or as you need more mixes, you add more of those, and you start to figure out how it works. And once you understand the gist of it, It's incredibly intuitive and incredibly fast to use.
Yep. Right. Next question. Are there input groups? Example for games. It looks like this could get pretty messy over time when adding every single game.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So you can already see it here with Discord. This is called Discord. You could also just call this like chat apps, right? And now that's what that input grouping is called. And so for games, I think I have Hades on here. I can launch that up. It's the same thing. You can add your game in here, and then you can add a second game into that group as well, and then you can group all of your games. It also remembers your games. So let's say you launch, World of Warcraft, and you play Hades, and you play Battlefield. You close the app, you reopen it, it's always going to be routed right back into that same input or basically into that same group and into those same channels there. So it really makes it quite easy. And that way you still have that nice overview.
All right. Next question. Will there still be something of a default channel or will we have to add everything manually?
So that's something that we're kind of still exploring. There is a slight change in the behavior compared to Wavelength 2 there. With Wavelength 2, what you might be familiar with is that when you go into, for example, your Windows output settings here, you see like system and game and that kind of stuff. Wavelength 3 doesn't have that anymore, at least currently. And so, yeah, there is a question of like, okay, what about like catch-all? What if I launch a new app, I forgot to route it, and where is that now playing through, right? How do I do that? And so that's something that the team is still looking at.
Yep. Good news, guys. When we started, we were at 51 questions, and we're now back at 51 questions.
All right, we got to keep it. We got to
Yeah,
keep it
I'm trying to do
balanced.
these quick too, especially because I know some people are joining in and may not have been there at the beginning of the demo. I do have some that we've already answered, but I want to just quickly fire through them because I think it would be very helpful for everyone. Would those be individually available in OBS as separate tracks?
Yes, and so just to show again how you could do that, there's a couple different ways. You can add these as audio input captures for the individual mix. So for example, here, if I want my, that mic effects track in there, now that's only, right, that's only the one with the microphone and Stream Deck. I could also add in then, the Stream Mix itself, and then I can go into the advanced audio mixer in OBS and configure that multi-track recording, right? So if I want, let's say, I want that in track 1 and track 2, and then, turn off the rest, and then maybe track 3. There we go, right? Now that's set up to record multiple audio tracks. There's actually a little bit more you have to do. You actually have to configure your recording to do multiple, but essentially that's how that would work. The other way that you can capture is also application, but this is pretty much the easiest way is just you bring your mixes in via audio inputs, and again, each mix you can see here is separate. So you have mic effects, you have stream mix, you also have your personal mix if you even wanted to capture that. So it's incredibly simple to do.
Right. Next question. So the mixes take place of different channels. For example, how current Wavelength has system game SFX.
Yes, under the hood, that's actually still how it works. So you'll notice, for example, we have like the stream mix here. If I now go to like the Windows output settings, um, you'll actually see, or rather, sorry, the input apps that you have, you can see there, I added Spotify, and now Spotify is an output in Windows. Um, I don't want to go too deep because it can be a little bit confusing, but essentially that's created a virtual channel. And that's similar to what you had in Wavelength 3. Um, or sorry, in Wavelength 2. And you can see when I rename the chat apps one, see it says chat apps here, that grouping is also what that virtual device is called in Windows now. It's just called chat apps. So that behavior is still there. It's just slightly different.
All right. Next question. Is there a reason mixes are capped to 5?
I
I
think
like the
these,
number 5 personally.
yeah.
So I thought it was pretty fun.
Chat, give us a write up. If you need more than 5, and they have to be good reasons. Like, what's your 6th mix?
I need a PowerPoint presentation about how you're going to be using more than 5 mixes in depth, and I expect that by end of week next week. Thank you very much.
Dang, class is in session.
Yeah.
Over the weekend.
Yeah.
Multi asks, is it next week yet? It isn't. Unfortunately, you will have to wait until next week to get this beta, but I'm really glad you guys are excited.
We are. I also want to add to that. I mean, we're super active on, social. Obviously, we're on the stream. You're answering questions. The main place I think that you're going to get a lot of your questions answered, and the one that I'm also personally on a lot, is Reddit. So we have a thread there. If you have any questions after the stream that maybe weren't answered, definitely ask there, or go to Discord as well. We have it up and running, so maybe we can even do some screenshots. And then if you have a little bit of patience, just 1 week, then you'll be able to get your hands on it and use it yourself.
Fun Family Gaming says, "Careful what you ask for. I'm good with PowerPoints. Let's see it in the Reddit."
Challenge
Let's see it.
accepted.
I'm assuming the assign output option, you could assign one to a line out.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So anything is an output, any hardware output. So, for example, here the personal mix. Let's say this personal mix, you have a dual PC setup. You could do something like if you have a capture card connected, this could go out to the capture card. In fact, that's what we have. We have a Camlink Pro here. I'm not going to do that because otherwise you guys are going to hear this. I've got music, I've got Stream Deck, I've got other audio, so it's not mixed well right now. But I can add it to one output here, another output there. So now I'm outputting to 3 different places, 3 hardware outputs, just this one personal mix, and you can do that for each one, right? So this can get really, really powerful here.
Good news, guys. We're still at 50 questions. Okay, next question. Can VSTs be added to each channel, and is it at the overall channel level or for the sub mixes?
That's a
Yeah,
good
so you
question.
can add VSTs to every channel. Right now, that is at the channel level, right? So if you apply it on the channel level, it will play in each mix. Um, I can imagine that there's going to be requests to be able to only run the effects on certain mixes. So that's something we can look into. And the way it's implemented here is right now you apply effects on a channel and then they play through all the mixes.
Yep.
All right.
There's no
Next.
VSTs for mixes. No, I mean I'm not sure why would you want to put an effect on the entire mix.
Next question. Is there overall volume control for each mix?
There, for each mix. No. So you have your input volume here, and then you have your individual like volume as part of that input in each mix, right? But there's no mix volume, and that's also something that's different from Wavelength 2.0, where you kind of had your stream mix and your personal mix, this like master volume. This is a little bit separate or a little bit different, and the reason for that partially is you actually generally want to leave that at 100%. There's really no reason to change your stream mix volume, the entire thing, lower than 100%, because if you wanted lower volume, we'll just lower the inputs into that. Or if you're bringing it into OBS, you want to keep that at 100%, and then again tweak the individual inputs that you have. That's kind of how do I put it, like best hygiene for audio. Basically, you want to adjust the volume in as few places as possible.
Yeah, so what we saw from current Wavelink is that the vast majority of users are changing the volume on an input or channel level and not on a mix level. That having been said, this software goes into beta next week, and we're definitely looking for this kind of feedback, right? Do you need volume control on a mix level? Do you need to be able to adjust effects on a per mix level? These are all things that we'll then start reviewing and building a roadmap out of. So what you're seeing here is what we're going to ship next week, and then we'll go from there.
Phil stepping on my charger. Get off my charger, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, next question. Follow question. Obviously, apps need to stay open to add them to the mix. Will they stay in the mix even if the apps are closed out? Kind of like how we have to do now with the games mix.
Yeah.
Will they stay in?
And you can just
Yep.
quit any of these apps, Phil.
Yep. So for example, here, if I quit Zoom, it's going to stay in there. So the next time you open Zoom, it's going to be routed back into that same channel. Same thing for all your games. Obviously, you play lots of different games. You can add them all into one channel. Obviously, you're only going to play one game at a time, and then they'll stay in there.
Yep. Next question. Actually, this one's not a question. This is just a comment. This is amazing. I can tell this has been a ton of dev work. Congratulations to the devs. Yeah, I actually want to shout them out because I know some of them are watching right now. A huge shout out to the software team who's been working really, really hard to create, not only get this beta for you, but to get it working as seamlessly as they can. So I'm super excited to get this in your hands next week. And I know they cannot wait to hear your feedback, both positive and constructive, so that we can keep making it even better.
That was really smooth.
That was smooth.
Positive and constructive. not positive and negative feedback? Because I know chat wouldn't have any negative feedback.
I'm excited to see their constructive
It's called
feedback.
constructive feedback, yes.
Yeah.
We don't like destructive feedback.
No.
Constructive is good.
How long will this be in beta?
There's no hard time on that, to be honest. We'll ship it when it's ready into a full release. This is a pretty big deal for us. This is the next generation of Wavelink. It is an entirely new architecture. And so we want to get this right. And that's why we're also kind of going about this a little bit differently now and giving you an early look and then putting it into public beta probably earlier than we normally would. So we can, fine tune some of the behavior and make sure this really, works for as many of you guys as possible.
And I guess I don't know when it's come up again, but just for everyone to know, if you're just tuning in or you may have missed it, when can you get access to Wavelength 3.0 beta?
Yeah, you can get access to this beta starting October 16th, so next week. Very, very soon, you'll be able to access this beta. We cannot wait for you to try it. So stay tuned to our Reddit and also like our beta downloads page so that as soon as it's available, you can get access to it. We're going to get this question in a bit, but to just answer it now, because I have it in the queue. They asked when on the 16th it'll be available. They're like
exactly 6:01 a.m. Pacific time.
And we'll hold you to that web team.
No,
we won't. It'll be available that day.
Yeah.
We obviously want to make sure everything runs smoothly for you. So I know you can't wait, but we can't get you a minute countdown. Although in the future that'd be interesting, like just a big old countdown on the website.
For the end of Elgato week, it's like a whole new year. Yeah.
All right. We're at 48 questions. Can I save my current Wavelength 2.0 profile and import it to 3.0? Since 3.0 is so new and rebuilt, you won't be able to export your settings. But hopefully, like I said, with all this content that we'll be providing, it will be easy, hopefully, for you to set up everything and get running with 3.0.
I'm very much looking forward to making all of this content with the team.
Yeah.
It's going to be super fun.
Shout out video team. I know you guys are watching. This one's going to be fun. All right. Bigger question.
Okay.
Can you override a single channel matrix element so it's independent instead of relative to the global volume? Example, 50% on global on a 50% channel equals 25% volume. Could I force it to be 50% across the board without fidgeting with a channel?
If I'm understanding this correctly, and boy, that's quite the question, Sentinel. Let's say I have my input here, Spotify, right? I'm going to set this to 100%. I'm going to set it to 100% on every mix. Now I can simply take the Spotify input, not the mixes, and I can lower that. Now I've done it across the board, right? Every mix that it's in, it's at 50%. Now I could still go and adjust it on the mix, and that's going to be relative to that volume that you've already set on the input. I hope that makes sense. So it sounds like it can do what you're asking, if I'm understanding it correctly.
Yeah. Chat is not happy with the math. I did not get enough hours of sleep for all this math, guys. And Maverick says, bro, this is free. I would pay $20 for this easily. So I think we should make it $20 now.
Don't say that.
Thanks
Don't say
Maverick.
that. Do not say that. Don't
Everybody
say that.
thank Maverick.
Yeah, that's like when it's like, is there any homework? Like, you don't ask that.
Shh.
You don't say that.
It's the quiet part. You don't say the quiet part out loud.
Bro, it is free.
It is free, bro.
Yeah.
How is the latency for gaming audio? And I know a couple people were asking about that low latency mode as well.
It's great. Yeah. That's yeah. The lowest.
So the thing about latency, right? And we can get into nitty gritty and details and millisecond values and all this stuff. What we prefer to do is just blind tests. We put people on a PC, ask them to play the game, see if they notice anything. The answer, I think, in every single test has been no. I don't notice anything. Right now, if you told them there's this many milliseconds of latency, you probably say, "Oh, I could hear that. It's not real time." Well, in a blind test, there's no latency. Technically, obviously, there's a little bit of latency, right? There's some milliseconds from the software pipeline that is running here and passing audio back and forth.
And I mean, I think that topic is also going to come up a little bit when we talk about Wavecast, which, boy, given how many questions we have, are we going to get to that today?
We're still on time.
Okay.
So
all right.
that's good. Next question. How many effects can you add, and do VST2 and VST3 work?
That's a great
I think as
question.
many as you
Yeah.
want, to be honest. I'm not sure there's a hard limit. And yes, we support VST2 and 3
I
and
could
Apple
actually
Audio
show
units.
that. So if you go into the settings here, you'll see there's effects. VST3 standardized where they're saved, so it's already in there. VST2s aren't, so there. If you do have any VST2s, you'll just want to change the the folder that they're in. It'll scan them there, and then yeah, you can use VST2, VST3, or on Mac AUs. After that, you can go back into your excuse me, you can go back into your input channels here, and then you can add as many as you want. Of course, keep in mind, adding more effects adds a little bit of processing, potentially also a little bit of latency. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, you're pretty much good to, I think there was a limit on Wavelength 2 of 10 or 12. If you need 10 or 12 audio effects to make something sound good, I think you got bigger problems. um, but yeah, you can add a lot.
Guys, I am Sisyphus, and these questions are my boulder. Any chance for a wavelength to support 5.1 pass-through?
That's actually another like great point. I've seen it come up in the chat now a couple times. Surround sound, and there's really one primary way that we kind of think about this right now, and that is that almost every place that you consume content is stereo, right? So if you're listening on headphones, if you're on your speakers on your Mac or something like that, heck, most people at home in their home setups, they have just some stereo speakers, maybe a sound bar. So the primary thing there is stereo. Also, most platforms don't serve surround sound audio. Twitch doesn't. I think YouTube does do 5.1. I'm not sure about Vimeo. I don't know about some of the other platforms. So that's kind of the primary thing. Obviously, there's the part about you at home just wanting to play your games either with virtual surround, or maybe you do have a surround setup. That's something that just let us know in the beta your feedback there. We haven't had a lot of requests for it, but I understand if you have a nice setup. I'm one of those, by the way. I have an Atmos setup at home, so I get it.
Okay, flex.
I just need to put the creds on the table
Okay, all
there,
right.
so I'm not just talking BS here. But yeah, no, just let us know during this beta period, and also like kind of how or it gets interesting because what do you do with 5.1, right? How do you mix that down to stereo? And there's many different ways of doing that. It could sound better, it could sound worse. So it's also a technical challenge.
Okay. 48 questions. Questions, since we can connect more Elgato mics, will the Elgato mics be able to connect wirelessly in the future?
I
That's an
think they're trying to
interesting
get us
question.
to admit to
Interesting question.
something,
I think
and
that's a clear no comment.
yeah,
All right. Is there a monitor mix in Wavelength 3.0?
there is.
The monitor
And
mix is
yeah,
basically whatever you want it to be, right? You make a mix, you say this is my monitor mix, and then off you go. So you can have multiple monitor mixes if you wanted to, right? If you want a certain mix for work and a different mix for gaming, you could do that. They're both kind of monitor mixes.
yep.
All right. Next question. Will each individual mix be shown as its own virtual audio device within Windows and Mac OS? Will Wavelength chat, music, game, etc. virtual outputs, which by the way are just the ones that you make, still exist that are currently in place as part of Wavelength 2.0?
So right off the bat, they still exist, but not in the same way as Wavelength 2.0. We kind of covered this earlier. With Wavelength 2.0, when you install it, when you set it up on Windows, you immediately see a bunch of outputs, right? You see a game, a system, voice chat, and there's a couple more. With Wavelength 3, those channels are created when you create these inputs here. So for example, we've added Hades here, and now that actually becomes a virtual channel. The reason for this is now you can add other apps into that virtual channel. And so really what you could do now in theory is rename this to like game, That's your game channel. You add all your games in there, and then back in Windows, it's going to rename that
Real quick, Chris, could you
to
move our camera so they can see?
Oh, yeah, I guess. Oh, my bad. I didn't see that you can't see it. But what it'll do is, in a little bit here, it takes Windows a second, but it'll rename this input to game. And so at that point, you have your game channel. Um, The trick here for us is that you have to add an app into Wavelink for that to happen first. Something that I've personally been talking to the team about is letting you essentially create these virtual channels just like in this pop-up menu here, right? So you could just add a game channel. It's like a dummy or a virtual one. Um, Also something that may or may not happen during the beta. We'll just have to see.
Okay. Next question. How would it work to route soundboard through your mic?
Oh,
Yeah, so
super
we've
easy.
kind of got that set up right now on the right.
Mhm.
So that mic FX channel, it's got your microphone and it's got, in this case, Stream Deck is our soundboard, where actually Phil, I think he's playing music through the Stream Deck right now. So
Shh,
Stream Deck
don't
could be
tell
your
anyone.
soundboard. If you run as a soundboard app or a soundboard in a browser, then you can do it that way. And then you're mixing the soundboard and your microphone. That mic FX mix will then be available in this case in Discord, right? Mic FX, you pick that as your microphone, and now you've got a microphone mixed with your soundboard and anything else you want. So it really is that easy to set up.
Yeah. Next question. I currently use an alternative mainly because I can turn on and off different hardware outputs at the press of a button. Example, if I'm running AFK, I can press a button to output to my speakers, and then they had a follow up to that. Continued, how easy is it to do this on Wavelength 3.0?
It
Yeah,
will
so
be.
the
Oh,
hardware
go ahead.
front
Yeah.
end, the hardware front end, and we're not showing that here today, but the hardware front end to control all of this is going to be Stream Deck. And we're completely rebuilding the way Stream Deck controls Wavelength for Wavelength 3. Um, and it's going to be pretty great, but this is going to allow you to adjust the volume of any of these inputs on the fly, allow you to change your output or your listening devices, toggle effects
I think that was part of
on
the
your hardware
question.
or on different virtual inputs.
I think that
So
was part of the question that they had is if they would go from like say their headphones to the other like two speakers, right? So let's say here we have headphones and then we have, I don't know, Realtek digital output. Consider these our
yeah.
speakers. Right now you're playing through both. Well, what you're asking about is, or what the question was, if I want to mute my speaker, only play through headphones, and then maybe vice versa, swap it, something like that.
Yeah, they
and,
want to
thi-
do it
and this is
at one
actually
press.
Yeah,
this is actually the advanced mode. The easier mode would be if you
just
exit out of this, just on, where did your, yeah,
up
there.
here.
This
Yeah.
is your overall audio output, right? So this is where you go from headphones to speakers, and you'll be able to obviously map that to a Stream Deck. So this is how you change the output of what the entire app is doing, regardless of the mix. But you could even do it on a per mix level and have different audio outputs there.
Okay. Next question. Oh, not a question. They just want to say they really love the look of this UI and the workflow. Thank you for sharing.
That's
Team
nice.
has put a lot of effort into that,
Yeah.
and there's still more refinements coming. I mean, even today, there was a new version, like this version right here. The team sent it over this morning. I installed it, and already I saw little changes. So I think
That's
you're going to see that
fresh.
throughout the beta as well, is that there will be new updates. Oh, actually, speaking of that, sorry, little tangent. Can I show you guys something really cool? I think this is dope. This is something we've not done before, but we're starting to bring into our apps. We started with Elgato Studio. It's now coming to Wavelength 3. Check this out. When you go to updates here, release channel, you now can choose to be in basically the release version, the stable version, or the beta. So this means whenever we have new betas, like if you are at the forefront, you always want to use the cutting edge, you want to, try all the new features, you can simply switch to the beta channel, and then every time we release a new update, you'll get that automatically. If you are using a mission critical system and you're like, it has to be stable, I don't want to do betas, I can't have my stuff auto updating all the time, great, then you just go to stable, and Wavelength will let you know when that new update is available. You can also disable automatic updates. So again, same thing there. We know that as a creator, it's important to have an overview of everything that you're doing. The worst thing is you want to go live, something auto updated and it's not working. So you also have the option there. So we're giving you a ton of options here, and I'm just super excited for this beta option here, because then you can just opt in at any time if you want to check out the latest things.
Chat really
Always be
likes
on the
that.
cutting edge.
Yeah.
Horchata says that's one of the best features. They really like
Yeah.
this.
No, it's a small little detail. You don't have to go to elgato.com, or you don't even have to go to the Reddit page, find the latest version. Maybe you forgot to update, blah, blah, blah. No, now you just, whenever there's a new version that we push out, you're going to get that update.
Yep.
Yep.
Warblade asks, can the left sidebar be collapsed or minimized? It feels a bit empty on the left side.
Can it on Windows?
It
On the Mac
cannot
version, it definitely
on
can. I guess
Windows.
on
Yeah.
Windows, it's not implemented yet.
But it can on
But
Mac, right? Right now.
we can show the Mac version quickly. This will also give you a view on some of the UI changes
Yep.
or improvements that will also come to the Windows version. I don't know how we best do this. I can also
How
just share
about
my screen.
Julian? I'll keep
By
asking you questions while Phil sets that up.
Yep, we've actually
Because
got that
we have
ready
it
to
ready to
go.
go. He just needs to
Okay,
connect it.
perfect.
Okay. All right.
Good.
Next question. This person says, "Oh, perfect time! Wow, it's like it's
Perfect timing.
That's crazy." They say, "Join late.
Yes,
is there
there
a
is.
version of Wavecast coming for Mac?" I know we're talking about Wavelink 3.0, but right now Wavecast isn't available
Oh,
for Mac.
Wavecast.
Yeah,
Oh, I
this
got
one. This
that.
one
Yeah.
is a
No,
Wavecast
Wavelength 3, yes.
question.
Wavecast, no.
Yeah.
We don't currently have plans to bring Wavecast to Mac, but if the demand is there, then we'll certainly look at it.
Yep.
Some assistance here. The cable.
And then Night Rain asks, "Can we route more mics to microphone effects at the same time?"
You absolutely can, yeah. So you can route multiple mics, multiple hardware devices into the same mix. So if you wanted 2 or 3 microphones in your mic effects mix, you can absolutely do that now.
Next question. As this is free, will you? Oh, this one's from Tom, by the way. Hi, Tom. Will you be running ads for Elgato products in Wavelink?
Yeah, if we detect that you're running a Blue Yeti, then we'll tell you, hey man, it's 2025. Please stop. No, there won't be ads. That's not really the goal. We may every now and then encourage you to check out Marketplace if we think there's something relevant for you, but there's no intention to run ads in this app. This is a tool.
Yeah,
We could just go full aggro though.
we should. I think I would like a picture of me just saying like, "Watch my stream" in the corner. All right. Next question. Can you group and sum them all together and create a single master chain as well?
Essentially, that's what your mix is, right? So if you have a mix, you can add all your inputs. Like for example, this monitor mix has all of the inputs going to it. I can also unmute the mic. All of this is now being, going to the monitor mix, which that could be sent to some sort of app if you want to, or you can listen to it. So I think that's it does that.
Yep.
So comment, if your mic has USB mini, you deserve ads. Maybe.
So I do have Mac set up here,
Okay.
by the way, if we do
I
want to
just
show
pulled up
that.
one more
Oh,
question
okay,
and then
sure.
we'll go to that. Funzo says, "I'm going to use Wavelength 3.0, but will people still have the option to continue using Wavelength 2.0 if they want to?"
So you can, but you cannot, at least on Windows, you cannot run them in parallel. So you got to opt for one or the other. I think on Mac, you can actually run both versions in parallel, but on Windows, you're going to have to decide for one. And if you want the other one, you got to uninstall and install the other option.
Awesome. All right. Well, we still have 35 questions, but for right now, let's check out the Mac version and then we'll jump back into the questions.
All
Okay,
right.
cool. All right. Yes, this is there's some cool stuff happening here. I want to talk about 3 things quickly. One, we had that question about the sidebar where maybe you can just close it up here, right? So simple as that. That's going to come to Windows as well. Now, one thing that I was pretty annoying about was I said Wavelength needs to be able to be on your screen all the time without taking up a bunch of space. And on Mac, you can see how we're working on implementing this. So on the top right, there's basically a compact mode button. So you toggle that, and then you just get a list of your mixes, and you have a drop down where you can select your different mixes. Right. So this is really nice if you just want a view of your audio at all times. Right. You just want to make sure, as a confidence monitor, audio is routing. You can quickly adjust the volume and you can quickly get to every mix. If you minimize that, there's even another way to do this, and that's up in the menu bar. There's going to be a new entry here, and boom, you can pull it up just like that. Right. So this to me is the coolest because it almost feels like a native operating system type of thing. And if you actually go to the native audio options on the right, Phil, and you expand those in the menu bar. No, not that. Should be just of the volume icon. Where's your volume
I
icon?
I don't do that.
Oh, you
Here we
don't
go.
have.
This one?
Oh, there, right? So this is Mac OS, and the only thing you can control is hardware, right? And that's it. Now with Wavelink, you'll basically get that view, but for software. And in any way you want to mix and match it, whether you're putting, all your communication apps in one channel, then you can control the volume for all of those. You got Spotify separately. I think this is really nice because instead of just changing your system volume, which changes your volume across the board for everything, you now have granular volume control in your menu bar for anything you want. Um, in some way, I feel like an operating system should have this, but now Wavelink will give it to you, and that's one of the reasons why we're making this free is because we think this is just pretty damn useful, and everybody should have this.
Could we stream our audio to CFO, CEO, everyone's on there. We could get them into the stream.
All the Apple TVs from the different offices. No, but
Yeah.
I think what you can see here
Yeah.
is that the UI looks largely the same. And if you expand it again, yeah, you got your device view, you got your mix view. Um, there are different, for example, the Mac version doesn't have the built-in marketplace yet. If you click on the marketplace here, it'll take you to a browser. But what the Mac version has that the Windows version doesn't have yet is the compact view and kind of the menu bar view. And these things will come to the different platforms, just not necessarily on exactly the same schedule. That depends what the teams are working on. But I love this compact view. It's something that where you look at Wavelength now, this is really the configuration view. This is not how we expect you to use the app most of the time. We would expect you to use it either in a compact view or completely minimized, and then with Stream Deck as your front end to control everything.
I just want to say again, I think light mode actually does look really good too, even on Mac now, because you can have light mode not look great when the overall app doesn't look good. But I mean, look at this. Doesn't this look with a little bit of colors there and everything? I think it looks great. Just wanted to put that out there.
Frito's leaving. Chad is outraged.
Clearly, I'm not a designer or have no design background.
It doesn't show at all.
You would turn that off. All right. I got it. I got the hint. But yeah, so as you can see, Windows, Mac, very, very similar. All of the kind of the same, same routing table look, the same audio effects, by the way, as well. I could show that here, right? In fact, something interesting, Apple includes a bunch of audio effects built in. So if you did want a low pass or I don't know, parametric EQ, peak limiter, then those come built in. You, of course, have hours as well on there. I just haven't installed a couple of them, and you can use many others as well. You can also change the icons. You can also add multiple apps, right? So if I'm, this is my browser one. I'll just add OneNote in there for whatever reason. Oh, and that's a really neat little animation. Check that out. And those are all those little touches that we've been doing is, add that in there. They kind of come together, they leave again. Really, really nice.
Yeah, you can also show it when you're rearranging stuff in the routing table, right? Just kind of moving around the order of mixes or channels. You just drag and drop them, move them around.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. It's yeah, it's very easy to make it your own. And under the hood, it's very, very powerful.
Ooh, look at that. That's got some like fluidity to it. It's almost like liquid glass. Sorry, that was bad. Like a transparent design.
Yeah, somebody asked if the app would get the
liquid glass.
The liquid glass effect.
Yeah, I mean, given that it's built in Swift, it can.
Yeah.
Or maybe even will automatically. I'm not sure. Depends on what version of macOS you're on here, I suppose. But I think we return to the questions, Master Chief Burrito.
Some more questions. We're at 37, but they keep typing more. So I have to queue more as we're going through them. Well, Salvatore asks, I have a question. Free key light. That's a great question. You're really standing out apart from everybody else's questions. Well, we can't give you a free key light right now, but you should join our Wavecast giveaway that we'll be doing at the end of the stream. So if you guys didn't know, we'll be giving away a
Was it Wavecast or Voice Focus?
Wavecast today.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
As we're talking about Wavecast, we'll
Which
be
among
doing the
all this
giveaway.
stuff, by the way, we still have a whole nother app to talk about.
Yeah. So that's going to be coming up soon. Next question: can individual channels still be added as audio output captures in OBS, or are mixes the only way to push audio through other software?
You still can do
Yeah.
that, right? So as I don't know when you joined, but as I explained earlier, when you add an app into, or basically add a input into Wavelink 3.0, it's going to create a channel for you, right? So we have this game channel here.
Oh, it's voice focus. I'm a liar. By the way, it's a voice focus giveaway. I'm a liar.
See, I thought
Me
so.
when I lie.
Um,
I'm sorry.
And so you can see I've got the game here, I've got the game channel, and then of course, because that's a channel, I can also go back into OBS and I can also just select that in here. Where is it?
But we're showing the Mac, Phil, so I don't think
Oh,
anything you're.
there we
There
go.
we go.
Okay. All right, yes. So yeah, you can still do that, right? So the individual mixes themselves, and you can also do application audio capture here. So yes, you can still add them as separate inputs into OBS.
I'd like to say for the record, it says Wavecast on the Monday board. Okay, I did not invent that. Okay, I plead innocent. When setting levels volume, can there be a numerical input or is it just a slider to control that?
You can do a numerical input as well. So this is actually a mix setting here. So you can go into mix settings. You can turn off always display volume sliders, and then you'll see now it's got a percentage on there.
Yeah, I guess if the question is, can you put it in a value in a text box? No, the
Oh,
volume control is only through the slider.
you'll have to buy a Stream Deck for that, and that way you can set the volume level. We're actually that's by intention. We're gating setting a specific level behind a Stream Deck.
Next
Not,
question.
Okay, that's a
not
joke.
true, by
No,
the
That's
way.
a
no.
joke. That's a joke. In case the inflection
clip
wasn't
that.
obvious, please clip that. When can we add the voice focus VST on other channels for free if we have an Elgato mic? So it'll still be just for that eligible hardware, as you know, when it launched, as we discussed before. But if you do buy the voice focus VST, the standalone version, then you can add it to any of the channels, even if it's not an Elgato mic.
Correct.
Dark asks how to enter the giveaway. We'll share more information about that closer to the end of the stream, but you'll be typing a keyword, and that's going to only be on Twitch. So if you want to enter the giveaway, start making your way over to Twitch. That's where it's going to be hosted. And all it is just typing a keyword in chat and making sure that you are eligible by checking out our terms with exclamation point terms.
I'm actually curious. I have a chat's been asking us a lot of questions. I'm gonna flip the script here.
Hold on. Pop
Chat.
quiz.
A, do you already use Wavelink today? And B, if you do, what mic are you using? Let us know. I want to know.
All right. Next question. With the various mixes, how would one play Spotify live while streaming on Twitch, but not having it show up in the VOD when using OBS? So actually, we have a good video tutorial for that, and the method would be very similar to this. So we have it on our TikTok if you want to check that out, about doing the like the multi-track on OBS and having it be muted in your VOD. But yeah, I mean, you can show real quick.
So that's one way you can do it, is now that you have the ability to make 5 mixes, right? We have our monitor mix. That's the one that you might listen to. You have your stream mix, you have a mic effects mix, and then you have a VOD track. Now, the stream mix might be the one that you include music in, but of course you want the VOD track that doesn't include, so that it's not muted. So here you can see I've just left out Spotify from there. It's that simple. Now, back in OBS, I could go in here and then simply select the VOD track as the input here. It's not showing up yet, but it would. It will show
Yeah,
up. So
just
I
needs
can
a
add
moment
that
to load.
mix in there, and then you're good to go, right? And then in OBS, you still need to do a little bit of configuration, right? It's not as seamless. You actually have to go in here, right? Check VOD track, select track 2. So there's a little bit more to do, but within Wavelink, it's super easy. Create a new mix, add everything except music, and then bring that into OBS.
Yep. Also, real quick, I know it's 8:45 for you over there, Julian. Are you good to stay on and answer some more questions, or do you have to go?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I am happy to stay on.
Also, shout out to Julian. It's literally almost 9 p.m. for you, and you're still here answering all these questions. We appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
9 p.m. on a Friday. Let's.
It's. I wish it was
Yeah.
Friday. Oh, nice weekend right now. Oh yeah, that's gonna be good this weekend. Will I have to create my own monitor mix? Yeah, you're basically gonna make your own. You can see in the preview right now. There's your monitor mix. If you
But
just left.
fear not, it is very, very easy. So maybe create a new mix fill. You literally just hit that plus
Yep.
button on the right.
Let me just go ahead and delete some mixes here, right? So this is
Okay.
essentially, again, we've had a couple people join in. So let me go ahead and we'll reset. We'll reset this quickly. There we go. So this might be actually how you. I'll put that over the game. This might be how you. Oh, I think the curse of live demos.
While you do that, I'll just answer Mike, who says, can you turn off the sound for your stream and still hear it yourself? Yes. What they're setting up right now, this monitor mix, is essentially exactly what you're asking for. You can monitor all your audio, and then you could mute your stream mix, but you're still monitoring everything. And then if you want to mute your monitor, because maybe you don't want to like hear your voice playing back or anything like that, you can also do that. So this is essentially being able to hear things that your stream can't hear.
So this right here would be a pretty basic configuration once you've launched Wavelink 3. You may have already added some apps. Maybe you want to add some more apps, like you want to add Discord back in now. There you go. You've got your monitor mix here. You could add Discord to your monitor mix. You would, of course, add your capture card, your music, everything else. And, maybe your microphone if you do want to hear it. If not, you just leave it out. Simple as that. Now you would go in and create another mix. This might be your stream mix. So you can go in and rename that. We'll just call that stream mix. You can call it whatever you want. You could just be Stream or OBS, right, to make it easy to find. It doesn't really matter. And then here you would add everything again, including your microphone, of course, because this is actually what's going out. Now maybe you also want to have your sound effects play through Discord with your microphone, but of course you don't want everything else. So you create a third mix. We'll call this chat. And then we'll only add the microphone and Stream Deck, right? Because Stream Deck has our soundboard, and you, of course, want your mic in there. And then, maybe you also want that VOD track. So then you can go in here and add everything except we'll do VOD track, right? So, and you saw that took me what, how many? Like maybe 30 seconds, something like that, to create 4 mixes, each very bespoke, each very different, and purpose built and set up for
Yeah.
the different apps
It's
that you're
really,
using them
really
in.
easy. So don't be scared of creating a mix, whether it's a monitor mix or a microphone effects mix or a VOD track or whatever. There's a lot of questions around how we arrived at 5. I think that's like the stretch of where we said how many mixes could you possibly need? Um, you got one to monitor. Okay, great. You got one for your audience, your stream. Okay, you got maybe one for chat. You got one for a VOD track. Maybe you need a fifth one as some sort of aux mix. Um, but we sort of felt like, okay, this gives the vast majority of users as much flexibility as they need. Um, we've had a few questions. Why not more than 5? But I haven't seen an answer yet as to what a 6 mix would do. So until we get that, I think and it's compelling. I think we're sticking with 5.
That's a challenge, chat.
Also, I saw somebody on YouTube asks about Spanish. Si quiere ver el stream en español, puede venir para atrás la semana que viene. Lunes o martes vamos a tener un stream en español. So yeah, next week, Monday and Tuesday, we'll have streams in Spanish, Portuguese, Japanese, German, and what am I missing? I'm missing one. There's so many. There's 5 languages.
French, Japanese, Portuguese.
Yeah, Japanese, Portuguese, Spanish, German, French.
German.
French.
Yep.
That's the one I was missing. So yeah, if you want to watch, learn about all these updates in your native language, you can join the stream on Twitch next week on Monday and Tuesday. Those dates will be shared on our region accounts, and we'll also I'll have a graphic actually to pop up tomorrow that has all those times. Yeah, but if you want to learn about them, just follow our region accounts. Shout out to our regions. I'm super excited to see their streams because I love that this is like really cool because they have setups around the world, right? So like for German, they'll be streaming from Germany, and in Japan, for Japanese, they'll be streaming in Japan. All these different setups. It's so cool. I love our team, and it's all done by internally by our team, so it's so cool. All
Someone
right.
said you have a Cuban accent. Is that true in
I
Spanish?
did somebody actually say that?
Yes, they
Oh
did.
my God, I'm
Somebody
Cuban.
did
Thanks
say
for
that. I
noticing.
saw it.
uh, is there multiple headphone outputs as well?
There are. So let's take this monitor mix here. You can simply click on the mix. You can see here there's assigned outputs. Now, I guess before, let me back up a second. You have kind of your main output, right? This is in Wavelength 2.0. This is what you essentially have as your monitor mix. This is that output up here. So this is, when you start Wavelength 3.0, you're going to want to select your headphones or speakers or whatever you primarily use. You can optionally also output these mixes to additional hardware outputs. So I can just click on a specific mix here, and then you can see here, add output. Now I could add, speakers. Now I could add another pair of headphones. Now I could add a capture card and, in a dual PC setup. So you can see now I've got it going to essentially 4 different outputs, right? You can assign on a per mix level, and there is one sort of master output that you select here at the top right.
I love how chat just started speaking in Spanish. Poor mods. They're trying to moderate. I'm looking at it too. Don't worry. All right.
What have you done, Brito?
Well, look, happy Hispanic Heritage Month, everyone. Was the NDI input that was shown a native function of Wavelength or an external app exposed as a Windows audio device? They're looking real close, Phil.
Oh yeah. Actually, that NDI is a VST that's installed when you install NDI on a system. So you just go in here, NDI, and then you can actually do output, and you could send something over the network or capture something over the network. Speaking of network, though, we have something really cool still to talk about. So
Yes.
yeah, but if you're interested, yes,
That would
NDI
be a
can
smooth
do that.
transition now to talk about sending audio over the network, but
Yeah.
in a little while.
Yeah.
We still have 29 questions, but yeah, we'll talk about audio over network. We're gonna go through these really quickly now. And then yes, these questions are being picked up from everywhere. So if you're asking questions on either platform, we will be answering them. Don't worry. We just have so many. It might take a moment to get to yours. Any support for Dolby Atmos for headphones and DTS headphone for spatial audio for games?
So currently, no, but frankly, I also just don't know the behavior, because I know that what basically those do is they upmix or downmix technically, something that's got 5.1, 7.1, or even object-based audio. It'll downmix that to stereo for your headphones. How that currently works with Wavelength, I'm not entirely sure. That's something that we talked earlier about surround sound. So, when you get the beta, install it, try it, let us know what your feedback is there. And then if I find the time, because we have a pretty busy weeks here, either myself or someone on the team is going to check that out as well, because I'm curious what the behavior there is. I don't know right now.
Right. If an audio interface places a channel all on one left or right channel, can Wavelength 3.0 change it to a mono source?
That's also a great question, and that's part of why we have this beta. So obviously there's a huge amount of audio devices out there. There's interfaces, there's microphones, there's headsets. Some of them are mono devices, some of them are stereo, some of them also do other weird things. Some of them are high resolution, 192 kilohertz, 24-bit, 32-bit, right? There's a lot that Wavelength 3.0 has to do that Wavelength 2.0 never did, because we're supporting so many different inputs and outputs. That's why we have this beta. So, if you use an audio input that, is just coming out of the left ear or your left headphones, then, let us know. And then that's something that we'll have to look into.
Shout out software team. I'm glad that's not my problem.
You get to be the one to respond to it, though.
Yeah. Well, that is my problem. Are the virtual outputs strictly the submixes, or are they tied to the channel?
These are the virtual outputs are tied to the mixes, yes, not the channels.
Yeah. All right. When will this beta become released to the public? It will be released October 16th, next week, for Windows and Mac. So definitely stay tuned for that. You'll want to be on our Reddit and also check out the beta page on our website. And I'm stoked for all this excitement. I cannot wait to see that Reddit bustling with people like, oh, I love it. Oh, I want this. Oh, can we improve this? I can't wait to see that next week.
Well, even better, if you're at TwitchCon in San Diego, the following weekend, we're going to be there. We have a booth. We have someone from our dev team there. We'll have Wavelength 3.0 on display, so you can come by, check it out in person. and interact in literally real time in person with our team, ask questions, provide feedback, whatever it might be. So definitely stop by if you're at TwitchCon in San Diego. In fact, Julian, I think you're going to be there as well, right?
I will definitely be there. I'm looking forward to it.
Very cool.
Is Wavelength 3.0 going to be dockable in OBS? I've seen a couple
Ooh,
people
that's
mention
a
this. That's why I
cool.
brought it up. It's a cool feature request.
Yeah, we've thought about that. Maybe Julian, do you have any thoughts on that?
What's required to be dockable?
At least right now, it's got to be and chat if I'm not remembering this correctly, but it's got to be a browser based, at least currently, because you can add like a
Okay.
browser dock. I don't know if you can just take any app and dock it, but it needs a URL. That being said, there are potentially ways to still do that, um,
They're saying
Mhm.
website or custom add-on.
or custom add-on, like a
Ooh,
plugin. Interesting.
the collapsed view from Mac being dockable at OBS would be amazing. All great
Agreed.
That
feature
would be the
requests.
most that would be the most sensible thing to dock, yeah, otherwise it's a bit big. But the collapse view would be very cool to dock in OBS.
Imagine Wavelength just replacing the audio part of OBS. You guys, the audio team is like running away, like no. All these great requests. All right, next question: will we still be able to use 2.0 in case we run into any compatibility issues? They had to stay on an earlier OBS version because of plugin integration. You really,
You'll
other than the plugin,
Yeah,
shouldn't
I mean,
have
you'll be able
compatibility
to,
issues.
but you gotta pick one or the other. You can't be running them at the same time in parallel, at least on Windows, that doesn't work. Um, and at some point, we're gonna end support for Wavelength 2. We are really moving our focus to Wavelength 3 at this point. And this is the new platform we're gonna be building on top of.
All right. And then Faz says, that's awesome. Thank you very much. Excited to install 3.0. We're excited for you to try it. And this is the person who asked, at what time on the 16th will this be available? It will be available at some time in the day. I wish I could give you an exact minute, but we want to make sure it's
What
totally
if we
ready to
dropped it
go.
on the 15th?
That'd be insane. Surprise. And then Blue Star this is all the way back when we were talking about how we're going to help you learn about this. But yes, we'll have workshops and tutorials for you to learn all the new things. And we're so glad you're excited.
We're definitely going to also do some more dedicated live streams.
Yeah.
Today, this is
And
obviously
Discord
just the beta,
stages,
a
workshops.
very first look, but I think we'll do some live streams where we go over very specific, just different use cases, things that you want to do, take your questions, and then, show all of those live. So yeah, we'll set those up. I think once the beta gets going, maybe once we're closer to launch, something like that.
Yep. And then can you have the same app in multiple channels?
So you cannot. And actually, what you'll see is that if you were to, I don't know, put some app back merged into a group.
Let's see if I'll remove Discord. I'll
Yeah,
add
just add
Discord
Discord back in
here,
there.
and then
And now if you create a new channel and put Discord in there, you'll see it'll transfer the app from the other channel. It'll just do that automatically for you. So nothing you have to worry about, but you can't put the same app into multiple channels.
Yep.
which you
You can't put the same
technically
app into multiple mixes, obviously.
I was gonna say, I mean, I think that I guess I would like to. It would be good to know what the thinking there is, because let's say I do want my app in, monitor mix and stream mix. Well, I could just add that in the table here.
Yeah, I mean,
I
if you
don't
add
need
the
it as
same
multiple
app in multiple
inputs.
channels, then you're getting effectively duplicate audio running into a mix. Um, so, but either way, it's not supported. So,
I liked this comment from Doug. This chat is job security for the audio team. You will keep
Okay.
them booked and busy. And then I also saw
it's
a really go ahead.
one thing we never run out of is feature requests, which is a good thing.
One quick question about TwitchCon since we were talking about it just now. They said, will we be selling products? We won't have a shop there, but usually with events like TwitchCon, we do run some promos. So make sure to sign up to our newsletter and stay tuned. You have a tab view for the mixes overview. I like to have the advanced. Oh, do you have a plan to have a tab view for the mixes overview? I like to have advanced settings when all done. But when all done, like to have a minimalistic, clean look. So that's on Mac with that collapsed view.
Yeah, Chris,
Right
maybe
now.
switch back to the Mac quickly, and then I can show that again here what that looks like. So this is that. I think maybe this is what that game hubblers talking about here. You can do this like more mini mode or compact mode where all you see is the inputs for either all the mixes or for a specific mix here. And if you want to go even further, you can even hide this and just have it pop out from the menu bar. We're looking at bringing this to Windows as well.
Really
It's just
nice,
not in
actually, is
there. Yeah.
another fine detail. If you were playing audio for something, you'd see a level meter in the little icon in the menu bar.
Oh, really? I haven't. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Wow. All right.
So if you actually had an app playing audio,
Yeah. Want to try to set that up? We
Yes.
can maybe switch to the Windows PC real quick while he
I
sets
don't
that
know.
up.
I don't know if you're even going to be able to see it when it's zoomed out like that. But it's another nice little. I just see it going on my machine. I got
Let's see.
the level meter running in my menu bar.
I just want to make sure I don't blast anyone with audio here. So if I do
Yeah,
that,
it's
and
off of the
then
Mac for right now while you set it up.
got it. Let's see. Add Apple Music in there. And now if I close that, and I go to
I think you're good to
all-
switch back now, Chris.
There we go. Yep. So that's it right there, right? That's what we're talking about.
No, I'm talking about the
Or is
actual
it-
wavelength icon up in the menu bar. Like
Oh.
that to
Yeah,
me.
I don't
is-
see it, but maybe that's just another
okay.
beta gremlin there.
Yeah, or maybe I just have a newer version than you because I'm closer to the source.
Ooh, dang. All right, Phil.
Yeah,
Not
Julian
on the
keeps all the good
newest
stuff for
version.
himself.
You don't get access to this one
Yeah.
yet. All right. Next, oh yeah, if we got $1 for each question, Julian, can you please give us $1 for each question? Will you optimize the UI for Xenon Edge and touch control? I mean, touch control is an interesting question there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, touch control, it already kind of is in a way, right? So like the big mute icon, the faders, you kind of already have that. If anything, you'd probably want the UI to be even bigger. I'm not sure about specific Xenon Edge optimization. However, something that once we release the Stream Deck plugin, you can use a virtual Stream Deck to put your controls on the Xenon Edge and have that be nice and big.
Right. How does Wavelink mixes work with Wavecast?
Boy,
Yeah.
that is something that I think we'll just cover when we talk about Wavecast.
Yeah, so we'll cover
I
that
think
in a
so, yeah.
bit. Did Wavelink get a new look? So yeah, anybody who is
Boy,
joining
you missed
and
a lot.
yeah, you welcome. We got a lot to talk about. You might want to go back in the VOD and get a quick refresher. But yes, this is Wavelink 3.0 that goes in beta next week. This will be the future of Wavelink, and we'll make sure to have lots of tutorials available for you to hop in and get onboarded. Next question: can you send output across the network? Again, we'll get into a little bit of Wavecast.
I mean,
but
to
they
answer
mean
that
via
specific
NDI
question,
or
yes,
Dante.
sure.
You
right?
absolutely
Yeah.
can, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you could even show it quickly, Phil.
Yeah.
By putting a.
Let's see here. If you wanted to send NDI, there we go. Now we have an NDI output effect. And so now you can, choose your channel, you can rename it, and then any other NDI device or software
That's for
on
a
your network.
channel now. Can we actually send a mix? Like, do you see the NDI option as an output in the mixes?
In the mix. Well, no, right? Because the effects are only on the input. So it would be the input. It wouldn't be the mix itself. You can't send the mix. But you couldn't do that in Wavelink 2.0 either, right? Wavelink 2, you also just had the channels that you could add effects to.
But is there no NDI device that you can send to? I mean, just check. Did it
Oh,
install
as
anything?
an output, I believe there
Yeah.
are. If you run NDI, I don't have it open right now, but there are
I
NDI.
think there's ways to do
devices.
this. I think you
Yeah,
could probably also
I think so.
send an entire mix out over NDI if you wanted to.
Yes, there are ways of doing that. I'm not on the up and up though on that right now.
All right. They ask, can you boost a single app or channel to 400%?
Not right now. So you're hitting 100%, but that's something again during the beta. You basically the volume could go from 0% to 100%, which is 0 dB. There's no additional gain being applied. If that's something that's needed due to some sort of hardware or some sort of oddity, let us know during the beta. That would, need some sort of special treatment then. But ideally, there's no reason to have to boost the volume over 100%.
I know there's like valid reasons for this, but I'm just picturing just like annoying your stream with just like the loudest audio possible.
Crank it up, then add a compressor on top to really just make it crunchy.
Oh yeah.
The crunchiest stream.
Actually, there might be a question about crunchy audio coming up. Game channel low latency is back? Question mark.
Yeah, I mean the concept of like a game channel doesn't really exist anymore, right? With these mixes and the way that it works, you make channels and they are low latency. Of course, the lowest latency you're still going to have if you use a wave device on the output, I believe. Actually, don't quote me on that. I'm going to double check out with the team. But yeah, there's no more game channel per se. You just add your games in and you create your output mixes.
All right. Will we be able to separate music and streaming software using Wavelink? Yep. We mentioned how you can separate that VOD output. And we do have a tutorial on how to do that right now in Wavelink 2.0 on our TikTok if you were interested in learning how to do that. But yeah, you can just have that VOD track like Phil was showing. And then this one was a suggestion, which I thought was really cool, which is why I added it. If a user has a custom mic, it would be so cool to see the model here. That probably won't work for like previous customs, but for future things.
I mean, honestly, that's not that hard.
Depends if they have a unique, some sort of unique identifier. Otherwise, at the very least, maybe we can have a little skin gallery where you can, even if you don't have a Starfield mic,
I like that idea.
Have one.
Now chat, we're cooking. That's a really cool idea. And yes,
I have a pink wave. I have a pink wave.
Yeah, that would be.
And this is the Starfield mic, by the way. It's one of my favorite ones that we did. Very nice design.
It's so clean.
Well, here we go. If we're on the topic of customization, I know the next thing people are going to ask, what about the mixer? What about the mixer background here? Could you add like a wallpaper? Yeah, mixer skins.
Well, first, for customization, somebody asked about custom icons.
That's why Wavelink is free. We're going to sell you skins.
Yo, let's go. And oh man, you could take that so far.
They asked here about custom icons for mixes.
So currently the icons are the ones that are set in the app itself. I don't think you can add just your own JPEG or PNG. I'm not sure if that's on the roadmap, but definitely I'm going to take that back to the team. I was thinking the same thing. I also just want more icons here. So yeah.
Yep. And I think the nice thing about setting them in Wavelink is going to be that, you'll have that customization done automatically on Stream Deck without having to do anything manual anymore.
And it does look really nice if you take the time. It'd be really cool also, just another idea for the audio team. If I type Stream Mix, it checks out what I typed there and tries to intelligently set an icon because I'm lazy and I don't want to have to do it manually. Or if I type Monitor Mix, it sets the headphone already for me. It tries to just be smart.
And then since we're talking about personalization, we actually did get a question for this. And you're actually the first person to ask the question for this, so don't worry about joining late. You were the first one to ask. But is there a way to personalize this, like colors, themes, background, anything like that? Ooh, I spilled some water.
Well, I think Phil can blind you all again and put it in the light mode.
All right, everyone get ready. Turn down your brightness.
You cannot really personalize it other than the icons for the mixes and obviously the logos for the different apps are gonna be pulled from their respective apps. There's not really skinning the mixer or anything like that. I mean, if this is something that comes up during the beta and you guys want to further personalize the look of this, then maybe.
That'd be so cool.
But I think in reality, this view is your configuration view, and we don't expect you to actually use this all that much. The software would then live either in a compact view or just not visible at all, and you have a Stream Deck to control everything in front of you.
Yeah. Pink Wavelink. I want pink Wavelink.
Pink Wavelink. All right.
Someone mod this. Someone mod it. Okay. Can you still rename audio effects in Wavelink 3.0?
Rename audio effects. Is that something you could do in Wavelink 2? I don't think you can rename them.
I didn't think you could.
If you could, then today in Wavelink 3, no, you cannot rename them. If that's something that you need or want, then let us know when the beta goes live.
All right. Will it be supporting Linux?
No, I mean, we get asked this a lot. The reality is, we are not really a massively big team working on this. So for us, it's we've got our hands full building this for Windows and Mac at the same time, and we simply don't have the capacity to add a third operating system into the mix right now.
Chat wants to skin Wavelink and have different designs. That yeah. um, all right. Which PC does Wavelink need to be connected to? My gaming PC, my streaming PC, or both? We'll also get into that when we get to Wavecast, which we should get to very soon. Because
Yes.
when I click this button right now, hear me out, chat. We are going to be under 10 questions. Let's go. 9 more. Is there a visual notification possible when audio is crackling? There's not something like that, but did you show the onboarding for the Wave 3?
I did, yes. And I mean, something like that is also something that we're, kind of looking into. How can we notify you of issues, right? And audio crackling is something you can detect these days in some way or another.
You could also show sound check as well, too.
But yeah, so one thing here is you have, at least ahead of time, when you're setting up your mic here, you can see the volume level here. You have sound check at the bottom. I'm just going to move this up a little bit, like so I can quit the game. You can do sound check here. So you can record a quick, couple sentences, stuff like that, see how you sound, also add effects and stuff like that. So that's for your microphone. Of course, for the mix itself, let's say you have other apps. When you go back to the mixer view, you can quickly just click this ear icon to see what that mix sounds like. So basically, like right up here, it says headphones Wave 3. The audio from the monitor mix is going out to the Wave 3. Now, if I click on this ear icon, it's now going out to the stream mix is going out. So I can do a quick check. Does it sound good? Is there any crackling, any issues? I can do a quick check on the chat, on the VOD track, and then if those are all good, go back to the monitor mix, and there you go. But to answer the question more directly, today there's no detection for audio crackling or something like that.
Oh, question for Brito. What is GPS? It's a gas piston spring.
Nice.
Thank you for asking.
You're on a 2-day streak.
2-day streak. I know you're going to follow up on this every day. Thank you for keeping me on top of it. For those who are audio beginners, will you have tutorials or recommendations on what kinds of mixes a beginner can use just to get started? I think that'd be good to have like
I'm
in the
confused on
tutorials
GPS.
for sure.
That was some lore from yesterday.
So yeah, for Wave Mic Arm Pro, I always forget what like the gas piston spring is called. So I'm always like every stream I'm like it's called so yeah, and then Phil gave me the pro tip for GPS.
Global positioning system, as far as I'm aware, but I guess we have a different definition for it.
I did.
Here at Elgato, we do things different.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we can move on.
Yeah.
Well, so
did
I mean,
answer that question?
No,
I think
we didn't. But I'm already thinking in my head about how we're gonna make this really easy. For example, I think it would be cool if we did like a YouTube series or a video series where it goes like how to make a VOD track, how to make a monitor mix, how to make a stream mix, basically like very compact individual videos. And that way, if you want to watch how to make a stream mix and a VOD track, you watch those 2 videos instead of a 10-minute one that guides you over the entire thing. Chat, let us know how you, essentially how, this is going to sound weird. How do you consume content? How do you want to watch tutorials? Would you rather have kind of one big one that's very inclusive, or would you rather have it cut up into like smaller bite-sized chunks, like how to configure effects, how to do your inputs, how to configure a mic for the first time, and then maybe how to make these different mixes, how to bring it into OBS or Meld, etc.
Yeah. Maybe to answer this question quickly, so the compact mode from Mac will come to Windows, yes. And then Wavelength 3, I believe, will be Windows 11 only. Everything we're doing now new will be Windows only because, as far as I know, Microsoft is ending support for Windows 10 this month. Is it?
Yep.
I think so. Yeah.
We're not going to start building new software for an end-of-life operating system. That doesn't really make a lot of sense for us. If you're still on Windows 10, I feel your pain, but we just cannot be. There's a whole lot of QA and testing that needs to be done to support an operating system, and we can't justify doing that for an operating system that the owner of that operating system says is end of life. It just doesn't make sense for us.
All right. They have Wavelink on they want to put Wavelink 3.0 on their vertical monitor. How will it flex to fit like a thin monitor?
It doesn't really right now. I'm just going to say it out loud, at least on Windows, right? In fact, I can't really make this smaller right now. So that's something
No, but this is again where you would use the compact mode, and then you would simply switch your mixes. And I assume we'll also have Stream Deck actions and stuff like that to let you quickly toggle between mixes, etc.
And that's something that, yeah, I mean, I don't know how much we showed it, but you can rearrange mixes, right? So you can rearrange mixes just like that. You can rearrange inputs as well. You can just drag them around like this, right? So you can kind of, you can see there it's got a cute little animation, and then you can just kind of drag it and drop it. So you can also rearrange these depending on, what's kind of most important to you.
All right. Anyone can join the beta? Yes, anyone can join the beta. And
Except you who asked.
what did
No,
horchata ever do to you? You don't
no,
like
of course.
horchata or matcha?
Anyone can join the beta because, and if you're just joining or you haven't been here for the entire stream, Wavelength 3.0 works with any microphone, basically any audio input, any audio output. It does not require an Elgato microphone, and you can download the beta for free starting next week. It's going to be awesome, and we want to hear your feedback.
What does the resource look like?
Should we do this live?
Required.
Let's check.
Let's pull it up.
That's
2%.
so yeah, it goes up to like maybe 4%, but that's because we have a bunch of audio effects also added here. Of course, if you take away some of these audio effects, there's going to be less. Either way, it is very performant. You generally don't need to worry about CPU usage. I think other apps, in fact, even your web browser is going to use more, which by the way is one of those things where, I think somebody asked me a question yesterday, like, does it use Electron? Not saying that was a conscious decision, but this is it's very performant because we're using the native WinUI 3 and Swift UI from the platforms. So
Yep.
yeah.
All right. How does Wavelength 3.0 and Meld Studio work together? Is it the same as OBS? Yeah, when you're bringing in those audio, all the things from Wavelength, it will work pretty much the same.
Yep.
Can you push RTMP audio for IRL streamers who run through RTMP servers?
No, but also I guess I would need to understand more about the setup because IRL streamers are also walking around and they're probably using their mobile devices, which Wavelength doesn't run on anyways. Unless you're talking about like capturing RTMP audio, also no today, unless there's like an app that creates a virtual audio device that can accept RTMP audio. I'm sure there's a creative way to do it, but I think the simple answer is not really.
Why is Stream Deck in the mix? I don't understand why that's there. So that's actually the way. That's a really good question. Some of you may be wondering why is Stream Deck in my Wavelength? So if you're running
Stream Deck is the best soundboard.
It's the best soundboard. If you're running sound effects, playing music, all that stuff with the soundboard action, or maybe any other plugins you're using, you'll want to maybe be able to toggle where that goes within Wavelength. So if you want your stream to be able to hear sound effects.
Can you just pull them up side by side, Phil? Wavelength and Stream Deck side by side.
If Wavelength decides to come back. I
said wave.
it waved goodbye. All right, let me reopen it here. And this is why we're launching the beta next week, not this week. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, just minimize it a little bit. And something is playing on Stream Deck. Maybe you can stop. Yeah, so no. Okay, now nothing is coming through. And now if Phil presses a button on the Stream Deck for some sort of sound effect, then you'll immediately see that play and then route into whatever mixes you have set up, right? So if you wanted to have your mic combined with a soundboard in Discord, this would be a super easy way to do it if you have Stream Deck.
In fact, I think this actually, because there's always this big question around how do I get audio into Discord, like as my mic, right? How do I get sound effects or even just other gameplay, other audio into my mic on Discord? And I think with Wavelength 3.0, it being free, it's probably going to be the simplest solution out there. I do not know, you do not need like Voice Meter or any of these other apps anymore. Literally, if that's all you want to do, by the way, like if you don't even if you don't even want to stream, you just want to, play with your friends and you want to do this, Wavelength 3 is so easy for that.
I see this so often also in meetings where people are trying to share a PowerPoint presentation and then they don't know how to do the share audio settings and Zoom and this kind of stuff. And then they're playing a video and the chat is, oh, no audio. Person has no idea what's going on. Just route PowerPoint through Wavelength. Combine it with your mic, route that into Zoom, Microsoft Teams, whatever. And then not only will it work, but you'll have separate control of your microphone audio, of your PowerPoint audio. There won't be any system audio going through, just what you want. So Yeah, this is really where we think Wavelength 3 is going to be really useful for a lot of people for a lot of different use cases. It's just universally useful audio application. Um, and that's why we're making it free and accessible to anyone.
How many questions do we have left?
6, but I think they're quick.
Six?
I think they're
Okay.
quick ones. Will a beta plugin for the Stream Deck software release on the same day? It won't be the same day, but there will be an updated Stream Deck plugin for Wavelength 3.0 in the future. Can 3.0 enable or disable each VST plugin individually?
Yes. Yeah. So you can for each input. Actually, let me close this. Oh, that's interesting.
No, Jasmine, don't rush people to ask more questions. There will be no more questions. We got 4 more. Any other questions will be relegated to the end of the stream.
Okay, I just discovered something that we need for beta feedback. So yes, if you want to go into Spotify, add an effect here, like, we'll add a compressor, not that you necessarily would on music, but we'll just do it. You can also, disable it, enable it, remove it, and that's separate from, all of your other inputs. It is for that entire input, though, across all the mixes, right? So if you add an EQ to Spotify, it's going to have that same EQ in the monitor mix, your chat, your stream mix, and your VOD track. So it's always on the input. It's not on the mix itself, if that makes sense.
Dang, I saw a good question, so I added one more. I'm sorry. Will there be an option to use a MIDI controller for Wavelink?
Maybe in the future, not right now. So the control front end that we will have is Stream Deck.
Have you heard of our Lord and Savior Stream Deck?
With this update, does anything change on the Stream Deck side? Yeah, there'll be a new Stream Deck plugin to control Wavelength 3.0. So you will need to do your reconfiguring of everything, but it is a slightly different system anyways, so you'll probably benefit from kind of refreshing your Wavelength.
I was going to say, if it's anything like our
options.
recent plugin releases, like the weather plugin.
Oh, they're going to look clean.
It's going to look and perform really nicely.
I'm excited to see dials.
It looks clean. It's really, really nice. Can't wait to show it.
You see how Julian has the insight? He didn't show us.
Yeah.
I want to Slack message for this.
I don't have it. I don't have it. I've only seen it.
Someone has it. Someone has it.
Otherwise, I would show you.
All right. Question for each of us. What is our favorite thing about Wavelength 3.0?
For me, it's got to be like the design of it, the UI, there's something about software that feels good to use. Like, you ever use an app where kind of everything you click on is a little bit like it stutters, or even the animations of like a window opening are kind of not smooth, and it's like maybe the app performs well and it does cool things, but it just doesn't feel great. That's what
that says your favorite feature is light mode.
Yeah, dang, called out. It's a close second. No. No, but I think that's something for me for Wavelength 3.0 that I'm most excited about, is just how kind of nice it is to use. Wavelength 2.0 is already really fast and performant. This is even more so, and with all these little touches on the design and everything, it's just really nice. So yeah, definitely that part for me. What about you, Brito?
For me, it's definitely multiple wave devices. I have wanted that for so long, and I'm so excited to be able to control and add multiple things into Wavelink, multiple Elgato mics. I am stoked for that. But also, second favorite is that it's open for everyone. I know that's something I've seen. I mean, Wavelink and Wave 3 and Wave 1 were my first launch at Elgato. So that's like the first big thing that I saw, like, since starting as like community feedback, was that people wanted it. So it feels really cool that now, with, totally reinventing Wavelink, using everything we've learned over the past 5 years to make it even better, that now everybody will be able to use basically the result of all that learning within the past 5 years, and now get this thing that I know that they've wanted for quite some time. So I'm excited for everybody to be able to start using it.
And Julian, what's your favorite feature? Or favorite thing?
If I had to pick a niche feature, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Niche feature is the compact mode. I do really love that because, I think a mixer is something that you want visibility on at all times, but you don't want it to take up so much of your screen real estate. So I think the way we've implemented this is really elegant and super useful, and really useful outside of any content creation. Even like on my Mac, just having that menu bar item with um, all of my volume levels accessible across hardware and software in any grouping I want with any effects on top of it I want is amazing.
Dang it, they keep asking good questions. Okay, we're at 3 questions.
Can we like rapid fire them?
So
Just-
fast. Wavelength 3 point on Mac. I wanted to
Yes.
repeat this. Yes, it
Rapid
will be on
fire,
Mac.
yes.
How will non-Elgato microphones look in the devices
It will not
tab?
show
They
up.
won't.
So no non-Elgato or officially supported, let's call it that, microphones in the devices tab. You don't get that. Your microphone will just be basically a channel that you can
Yep.
add, right?
Yeah, you can still add it. It just won't be in that devices tab. What is the performance difference from 3.0 to 2.0?
There really isn't one. We actually, I think yesterday showed off what the difference is when using voice focus on and off. I think in Wavelength 2.0, it's virtually identical right now. If anything, it's actually a little bit less. So
There's subtle
yeah.
performance differences, like when you're dragging around a channel or something, just in the way the UI behaves. I would say it's more performant because it's native. That's maybe a difference on performance.
Yep. So that was technically our last question, but this person asks, by open to everyone, does that mean it's no longer locked to needing one of the Wave devices? It is not anymore with Wavelength 3.0, and the beta next week will actually be open to everybody, Windows and Mac. So yeah, that being said,
Well, actually, check this out. This is super cool, right? So with Wavelength 2, you need a Wave device. With Wavelength 3, and we're doing
is
this
cool.
live.
This is cool.
If I unplug the mic, check
You
that
still
out.
got Wavelength.
We're still there. I noticed some other stuff changed, but we're still here. Obviously, it's not there, but Wavelength is still running. I'm still getting audio here. Spotify is still playing. Stream Deck is still there. All the games. So yeah, you do not need an Elgato Wave device connected. Of course, if I plug it back in, it's going to pop up here. But yeah, you can add like a headset mic, right, or something else.
And this is what it would look exactly if you didn't have an Elgato microphone. Just that device section on the left is not there anymore. That having been said, we probably will not limit it to purely Elgato microphones in the future for device support. We'll probably work with our friends at Corsair to integrate some devices, maybe some headsets. We'll see. So more to come on that front.
Yep. And then I did see somebody mention, would Stream Deck Plus show up in the devices tab? Stream Deck Plus wouldn't, but XLR dock for Stream Deck Plus would. Yeah.
That's where we might give you a banner ad those. If you connect a Stream Deck and we say, hey, make sure you get the plugin for Wavelink. But that's more of an informative.
All right.
So.
At this point,
we changed to selling skins, Phil.
Yeah.
Okay, we pivoted.
The pivot. At this point, any other questions were either like very niche, very specific use cases, which you can watch the tutorials when those are available to learn more about how you can make Wavelength work for your setup, or there were things that we already answered.
I will need to drop off the stream now.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for all the wonderful questions. And hopefully see some of you at TwitchCon next week. And then I'll also be joining our Discord town hall next Monday, I believe, to recap all the stuff we're launching this week, because there's more to come now on the stream, and tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after. So stay tuned.
Thank you, Julian.
Bye, Julian. Thank you so much.
But yeah, folks, the stream is not over. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah. We'll be back after this ad break.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about Wavecast? Hey, Phil, you know about Wavecast?
I do know about Wavecast. Oh, actually, all right, I do know about Wavecast. Yeah, so that was super cool. Obviously, huge shout out and thank you to Julian for joining us. I always think it's really cool having him come on. Essentially also like having senior leadership on a stream doesn't always happen. So, and you really get to get that insight into how we're thinking about product development, software, apps, etc., and kind of what we're doing for you guys as content creators. That being said, we aren't done yet.
Nope. That was just one thing that launched today.
Yeah.
Wavecast also launched today, which essentially makes your dual PC audio setup easy, wireless, and super seamless. So how do you want to do this?
I do need like 1 minute.
Yes. In the meantime,
so
I'll tell them about Elgato Week.
Okay, sounds
All right.
great.
So what's going on right now for anyone maybe tuning in later or hasn't heard the news. This is the news. Elgato Week is going on all week long. It started yesterday all the way through Friday. And essentially, what happens is every single day there's at least one product launch, but days like today, there's actually two. Yesterday, there was also two. So, yes, every single day this week, we will be launching new software updates, products, really cool things. I'm so excited for Friday. I literally cannot wait. But yeah, every day we'll be streaming as well. So we'll have some product intros, demos, Q&As, like the very, very long, I think, record Q&A that we just had. We definitely answered over 100 questions, no doubt. And then we'll also be doing giveaways. So, like for example, today we're giving away voice focus, so that anyone in the chat, if you want your mic sounding better, you want to be using voice focus in your video editing, you can do that. So we'll be giving that away today. But every single day we will have giveaways. And then just a reminder that next week on Monday we'll be doing a Discord stage Q&A, and like Julian said, he'll most likely be there as well, so you can ask him more 100 questions. Which, by the way, every question was great. Like, it wasn't like we were repeating that many. I only repeated things that I thought might need a quick refresher, since we'd already been streaming for over 2 hours. But yeah, there were so many great questions. And then next week on Monday and Tuesday, we'll also have streams in Spanish, French, German, Japanese, and Portuguese. So stay tuned for all of those times. We'll have one stream per language, so that you can learn about all the things that launched this week in your native language. So yeah. Why am I echoing? Because I'm loud like that. Actually, can I tell you, Icon, why I'm echoing? I'm echoing because Wavelink 2.0 didn't support multiple devices, but when we get that Wavelink 3.0 running, when we get that full version on the stream PC, we're gonna go crazy. We're not gonna be echoing no more.
Rito's echoing.
I'm tired of this workaround solution, and I can't wait for Wavelink 3.0.
Rito's so nice, you hear her twice.
That rhymes. That's
Yeah.
nice. I rhyme nice with nice. I can't do that.
All right. Speaking of twice, anyone here have a dual PC setup?
Oh, I can answer real quick.
What's up?
Somebody asked about why no Italian streams. Just to be like, I just want you guys to realize what's going on here with these region streams. This is our regional teams, right? So this is all internal. Maybe something we could consider for the future is maybe having partners in different languages also join in. But this is actually the first time we have 5 languages. The last time we had the regions joining us was for Prime Day, I believe, a couple months ago, and that was the first time we had 3 languages. And then last year we had German, and that was the first time having any other language. So we're definitely ramping this up. So if you have any feedback on languages you might want to see added, let us know. But I would also recommend checking out our partners who speak your native language, because they're also sharing some great content. We have so many different partners from around the world, and you can learn more about the products from them. But yeah, that's all. That's what I want to say there.
And our regional teams are quite small. Some of them literally have like 2 people in them.
And you'll see them
they
on the
do
stream.
everything from like
Love them too.
partnerships, community, to like pretty much everything. So that's why we may not have a specific language. But yeah, I see a lot of people have dual PC setups. Some people said they want one. Some people said, what's Wavecast? They didn't, but that's what we're here to talk about.
Oh,
So,
who said that?
yeah.
So someone in chat
Great
asked that question real quick.
Yeah.
What's Wavecast?
So let's dive into it. We talked a lot about Wavelink 3.0, but that's not the only software that we're launching. We are launching, and we have actually previously launched a software called Wavecast. And Wavecast is something that we've been thinking about for quite a long time. And so how did this kind of start? Thank you, chat. That's great.
Who is Wavecast?
Dual PC setups. Why is Wavecast? Dual PC setups are they're pretty popular these days, especially among those of you that want like the best performance out of your setups, right? You want the best stream quality. You also want the best performance on your gaming PC. Maybe you're running overclocks and like kind of pushing things to the limit. You're running beta software, or maybe your overclock is unstable, something like that. You launch a new alpha or beta of a game, right? And with a dual PC setup, your gaming PC only games, and your streaming PC only streams. And so your streaming PC can focus on the best rendering quality of the stream, the best encoding, making sure that all your audio sounds good, processing effects, overlays, all of that. And your gaming PC only games or does what it's doing. It's somewhat simple to capture video, right? You can use something like a capture card. You just take the HDMI from a gaming PC, plug it into the streaming PC, and you're good to go. Think of it a little bit like a console setup. Audio gets a little bit more tricky though, because usually you only have one pair of headphones, you have one microphone, Maybe you have one Stream Deck, you have, your game running on your gaming PC, your streaming PC, though, needs to get that audio. So how do you do that? And with all of that out of the way, I want to introduce Wavecast. So let me go ahead and I want to pull it up first on Elgato Marketplace.
Also, there's a poll running in chat right now. Do you have a dual PC setup? 16 people said yes, 17 said no, and 9 said they want to or they're looking into it. And the poll's still going, so make sure to vote.
Super cool. So over here on the demo system, I've got Marketplace up. And there we are on the Stream PC. Awesome. So Wavecast is available today from Elgato Marketplace, and it's an app that you install on both of your computers. And what it does is it sends audio from your streaming PC to the gaming PC and vice versa. Primarily, it's to take audio from your gaming PC and send it over your network to the streaming PC. And this makes your setup a lot simpler because what you can do is you can connect your headphones to the streaming PC and you'll hear your alerts, you'll hear your voice chat, whatever else might be going on, and you'll hear the audio from the game. At the same time, when you have a single microphone, you will also get that on your stream, of course, or any chat apps that you're using, and Wavecast can send that back to your gaming PC. And so I don't think there's a better way to demonstrate this than to simply show you how it works. And we've got this really cool like split view set up. Um, so if we can head over to that, we have two computers right now. Both of them are, you can see how they're labeled. We have our stream PC, and then on the right side here, we have our gaming PC. And I think I need to actually restart Wavecast over here. Let me see real quick. I'll go ahead and end that. We've been doing a lot of demos, a lot of setup
Breaking
here.
these PCs with so many
Exactly.
different setups.
All right, so what you do with this is, first of all, you install Wavecast on both of your computers. It's really that simple. You just install it on both of your computers, and when you purchase it from Elgato Marketplace, you'll get a license key. You input that key on just one of the computers that you're using, which is primarily going to be your streaming PC. And at that point, you can simply hit connect. And check this out. I have the license key set up on the stream PC, and I don't on the gaming PC here. But these two versions of Wavecast should actually find each other. And let me go ahead and restart it here as well. It will look really, really cool. Let's see. Wavecast. This has been our Wavelength 3 system, so it's been through the ringer, so to speak. So once I start it up here, I will go ahead and hit connect. Oh, is it going to do it? Of course, during the live demo, it's not going to. Da, 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 da. No? Let's see. I might need to. Oh, I thought I saw it. Let me exit this. Let me exit this. Bear with me, chat. Just one minute here. All right. We launch Wavecast on the stream PC, and we launch Wavecast on the gaming PC like so. Both of them are popping up, and they should find each other. There we go. All right, check it out. So on the gaming PC over here, it says, we found Wavecast running on another PC on your network. Complete the connection process there to continue. So it's super simple. You simply hit connect, and there you go. What happens is now both of Wavecast on the gaming PC and the streaming PC are talking to each other. And now audio is coming over from the gaming PC to the streaming PC over here, right? You can see that. And the audio from this PC, the microphone here, Wave 3, is being sent over to the streaming PC. And you can then select that in an app like, say, Discord as your input. So let's actually go ahead and let's see. I'll open Discord over here just to show what that looks like. And then we'll show how the game audio works. So if I go in here, and then I could go down to voice chat, and you'll see here, Wavecast. Elgato virtual audio for Wavecast. So now the audio is going from the Wave 3 connected to the streaming PC over the network to the gaming PC here and then into Discord. really low latency. It's using uncompressed audio, which is awesome. But what about audio from, say, a game or an application? Well, it's really simple. You have a couple options. First, you can send all audio. So literally any sound that runs on your gaming PC will be sent over to the streaming PC. You can also just do the foreground application. Now, the foreground application would be the one that you currently have focus in. So let's say you're playing a game, it's the game that you're controlling. Or if you then click on to Google Chrome, that's the audio that you would then be getting, sending over through Wavecast. Or you can also select specific applications. Like if you only want to capture the audio from one app specifically, you can also select that. In my case here, what we're going to do is we're actually going to launch up Doom, Doom the Dark Ages, and we're going to send that over the network here. Um, Something to also keep in mind, you do want to make sure you're hardwired between both computers, like basically to a switch um, using Ethernet, because that way you're not going to be susceptible to any like Wi-Fi interference, dropouts, stability issues, etc., and you just get the lowest latency. Um, all right, so we've now got Doom running here. Again, I could select Doom if I want to, or I can just hit all audio. In this case, I'm just going to hit all audio. And now, if I go in here, I can actually go into something like OBS Studio, open this up, and we'll go ahead and delete our other audio sources here. Remove. We'll do application audio capture. And then here we have Elgato Wavecast. And you can see, boom, right there, we've already got the audio from Doom coming into OBS Studio through Wavecast all over the network. And what's really cool is the audio is so low latency that the Stream PC, this one here with OBS, is where you connect your headphones. I mean, that to me is like mind blowing. You just have all your audio coming over your network. Now it's all connected to one computer. You connect your headphones there, you connect your mic there, and then you're good to go. That's also then where you can connect your Stream Deck, which makes it a lot easier, right? Your Stream Deck can then control OBS, it could control Wavelink if you're running it, that sort of thing. And in fact, the audio is so low latency that I'm gonna try something here. I'm going to let's open Wavelink again. This might get a little. We'll see if this works. It's a live demo after all. We'll go to mixes, and I am going to let's see. I'm going to remove everything here. I'm going to create a new channel, call it Wavecast. In Wavecast, I'm going to output the audio to it. Where did we do that? Elgato Wavecast. There we go. And now I'm also going to output the audio Camlink Pro. All right, can you hear the game audio? Is that coming through? All right, I'll turn it down a little bit. Hopefully it's, but remember, keep in mind how we're doing this right now. This is coming through Wavecast into Wavelink over the network. And so now I can hop in game and you'll see that this is extremely low latency to the point where, again, I could wear headphones. Oh, I need to do this. There we go. Right, and now I can actually play the game here, and my audio is, perfectly in sync. Really, really cool. I hope you can hear that. Let me know, chat. So this makes it super simple, right? You don't need an audio mixer. You don't need additional audio cables. You don't need to think about, analog audio hum because, you've got, again, like an analog mixer, maybe some ground loops or like audio interference there. You simply, over the network, send your game audio, and then in the opposite direction, you can send your mic audio. And so that's what Wavecast is. It's available today from Elgato Marketplace. If you're using a dual PC setup, it makes it incredibly simple to just send the audio back and forth. I also want to show you something else that's really cool. This might be, this is like, I don't know, if someone asked me like, what's a favorite feature? Check this out. I'm on the streaming PC here, and let's say I want to change what app I'm capturing on the gaming PC. I can do that from this computer, from the streaming PC. I can select Discord, And you'll see it also changes on Wavecast on the gaming PC, but I'm doing it on the streaming PC, right? You can see the settings are changing there. So it's actually over the network controlling the gaming PC, and it's telling Wavecast, hey, these are the apps that are running, and it can capture those. So even in this, you don't need to really go back to the gaming PC if you don't want to, or vice versa. If you have your mouse and keyboard connected to the gaming PC, then you can, control your stream PC settings from there as well, like choosing the output device, choosing the input device for the mic. If you want to reverse the audio, that's also quite simple to do. You just click this little button up here, and boom, now the audio from the stream PC, all these different apps that we have here, are being sent over to the gaming PC. So it's super simple to set up and use. And that's pretty much it. Um, it really doesn't take a lot to set this up and use it, but it's incredibly powerful, and it saves you quite a bit of hassle when it comes to, again, buying additional hardware, buying additional equipment, needing to set up, remember what ports things were in, stuff like that. Um, it's available today for $49.99 on Elgato Marketplace. And as a huge thank you to all of our beta testers, because we did have like a 2-month beta, we are offering I believe it's a 25% discount currently during this launch period. So you can get Wavecast for, what's 25% of 50? Burrito, help me out. I can't do math. Chat, somebody help me out. What's 25% off $50? Whatever that number is, that's what you can save when you buy Wavecast through I believe it's through October, is it the 12th? I think it's October 12th or something like that. I need to double check again. And there's also a code that you have to enter when you check out to get that discount. That code is, I believe it's Elgato-week-2025. Maybe one of the mods in chat can type that out. We've also got that on our Explorer articles and in the YouTube video, which I hope is actually up by now. I don't know. I haven't checked yet. The team is working hard on putting all this stuff together. So yeah, that is Wavecast. It's a application that takes the audio, sends it from one computer, from your gaming PC to your streaming PC, and makes everything a lot simpler. So I guess, are there any questions that have come up? 20 questions already. Let's do it.
Because I was queuing up in the beginning. But am I good to ask the questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Yeah, I think we covered most of the.
All right. Question number 1. What does Wavecast give us that NDI or V-band doesn't already do for free?
So if you already have NDI or V-band and you're happy with that setup, then frankly, like, not much, you're good. However, if you're just getting into dual PC or you have a setup and you're looking to simplify, with NDI, there still are things that you need to set up, which can be a little bit complicated, or same thing with V-band. We've really spent a lot of time making sure that it's simple to set up, that it automatically connects. You don't have to enter IP addresses, worry about any of that. We made sure it's incredibly low latency. In fact, that's actually one thing I didn't show yet, but you have some settings there as well that you can adjust if you want to. So, depending on if you want to, like, if you have a hardline connection, you're probably good to just set the latency to the lowest here. As Julian talked about earlier, before you say, oh, 10 milliseconds of latency, I can definitely hear that. Try it out before try it before you knock it, because I'm very, very sure that you can't hear the latency. Or if you're going over Wi-Fi and let's say there's some dropouts, then you can bump this up. So we give you all of these settings here. You can also sign up to get beta updates if you want to. And this also uses the same kind of design system that Wavelink is using, Wavelink 3.0. So yeah, that's what I would say there. There are always alternatives to all of these out there, but there's trade-offs when you're considering those. So Wavecast is definitely the simplest of all of them.
Yep. That also answers, obviously, the next question about latency. So we'll move on.
Latency, again, I want to say, like, latency, of course, sure, it is the enemy. And the latency of Wavecast itself is really, incredibly low. And again, you can fine tune and tweak that. There's other things to add on there as well. Like, I mean, even your headphones have latency, games and apps have latency, all of that. So it's hard to put a direct number on it. And again, you can just, try it for yourself.
I skipped a question by accident.
So teammates,
first answer this one, and then I'll get the other one back.
So teammates will hear us too. Yes, and so that's the really cool thing. Let's say you're playing a game where you want to chat in the lobby, or you want to chat in your party or your team, or just like local, right? Like let's say you're playing Warzone or something like that. then you can, use that same microphone that's connected physically to the streaming PC. Wavecast sends it over to the gaming PC, and then you can use it there as well. So one microphone, both computers.
Yep. And then the question I skipped by accident: can you still use Wavelength 3.0 to send audio and use Wavecast to get audio back to the gaming PC?
You can, yeah. So you would run Wavecast and you would run Wavelink 3.0 and Wavecast on the stream PC, and then you would, of course, run Wavecast again on the gaming PC. And then you can bring Wavecast into Wavelink 3.0 as well, and then you can make adjustments there if you want to, and then send that out to whichever app you're streaming or recording in.
Yep. All right, next question. Is it one license for both computers?
Yes, that's actually a really great question. Yeah, so you do not need to buy Wavecast 2 times, right? You buy it once. That one license activates on both computers. So super simple. As you saw when you use it on your network at home, they're just going to find each other. You put in the license key on one Wavecast version, and then it's going to tell the other one, hey, I'm activated, let's connect, and they'll be best friends.
Let's sync up.
Yeah.
So basically no more game capture workaround, right?
Pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much it. Now it doesn't do video, right? So video you would still need a separate solution for. It also doesn't do like mouse and keyboard. So in fact, what you saw me, I had one mouse and keyboard. That's a separate kind of topic. What we're using here is an app called Synergy, which is pretty cool. There's also others like Mouse Without Borders, and there's even more there. So you can still use just one mouse and keyboard across both computers, but Wavecast is specifically for audio. What might happen in the future, we'll have to see.
All right. Next question, can you connect more than 2?
At this time, no. So it's only 2. We really focused on optimizing this for a gaming PC and a streaming PC.
Bill, what about my triple computer setup?
You joke, but there
My
are people that
quad.
have that. They have one that
I've
streams.
actually never seen that.
Well,
I believe you.
They have one
I've
that
never seen
streams,
it.
one that records, and one that games.
Oh, for
Yeah,
recording.
uh-huh.
Oh my.
Yeah. But no, so
Wow.
that's at that point you're getting into I think a different category, so maybe, but yeah, so Wavecast is really for just a dual PC setup.
All right. Video and audio in perfect sync? Question mark.
Yes. If you're using
Visual sync?
Yeah, visual, absolutely. The audio is so low latency, and then if you're using, say, a capture card or getting the video over the network as well, there's many different ways to do that. They'll be in sync, yeah.
So I can play on my desktop PC and send it to my laptop to stream?
Absolutely, yeah.
And then they went, why they had
Is that the scary face or smiley face? That's scary.
I
That's
feel like
like
it's like
sad face. Yeah, that's, yeah.
this is the vibe I'm
Or
getting.
that's the reaction. It's like a YouTube thumbnail. Yes. So yeah, you can play on your desktop PC, and then you can send that to your laptop just over your network. You don't need any additional cables.
Right. And then someone mentioned we should be giving away one of these licenses today. Yeah, today is a voice focus giveaway, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, during the Discord stage event next week, we'll be giving away a Wavecast.
Could you just make an audible and just do that as well? Like do an audible call,
Like just to do it right now?
Quick pivot. Like at the end of the stream, we do both or one or the other.
Sorry,
chat.
Sorry,
I'm trying
Jasmine.
to give her ideas. I'm trying to be on your side.
Here's what we can do, because there's a lot of hype for this right now, and I totally get it. Let's do the voice focus giveaway, and then I'm so sorry, Jasmine. Right after, let's do a Wavecast giveaway, because it's been a great stream. We did break our record number of questions, and I think that you should be rewarded for that. So I agree. Sorry, Jasmine. We'll use the same keyword. Does that help? Jasmine's emote, like, huh? But we'll start with voice focus.
Let's go.
Okay? Sounds good.
Community
Shout
team
out
for the win.
Jasmine. Let's go, Jasmine. Yeah. W. All right. Are you restricted to using both PCs? For instance, if you're not recording or streaming, just want to be able to play a game solo, are you able to hear the audio from the gaming PC at all, or can you swap between the two?
If I'm understanding the question correctly, Wavecast itself doesn't really have anything to do with like streaming or recording. It just transfers the audio. What you then do with that sound is up to you. So if you just want to play games, you could just do that as well, right? Like that's totally fair. Again, I hope I'm understanding the question correctly. That being said, though,
I think you do. Like you're still playing your game on your gaming PC.
Yep. That being said, though, of course, like in this setup where you have your headphones on the streaming PC and your game on the gaming PC, both of those computers will need to be on and running, of course, for you to then hear the game audio.
Okay. And then, so are you monitoring Are you monitoring streaming computer or game computer your audio?
It would be from your gaming computer.
Yeah.
And so we have a YouTube video, which if somebody knows if it's uploaded already,
I
they
think it
can,
will be very
or
soon.
it will be soon, where it goes into a little bit more detail with some really nice animations and graphics to show exactly how the setup works. That also talks a little bit about that if there's any other, um, yeah, if you're looking for more information there.
Yeah. So stay tuned,
Yeah.
subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that video will be available very soon.
But I would just want to say from like, I've been, whenever I stream, I mean, when I started streaming back in like 2012 or 13, even back then I tried dual PC setups and it was like all these different cables. And then I had hum destroyers. You should see my cable box at home. It's awful. And what's crazy is this piece of software basically made all of those obsolete. It's so cool.
Oh shoot, I skipped that
Uh,
question again.
I
I'll go back to
okay.
it. This one was a joke. Can you run Doom on your Stream Deck for the live demo?
No.
Mhm. But you can. You
Yeah.
could try that. All right. Does Wavecast work on Mac OS?
It does not. So we really focused on Windows at the moment. You know, there aren't as many people using Mac OS for a dual PC or basically a dual computer setup. Let us know though, you know, we're not saying never. So just let us know if, you know, if there's demand for it. It's something that we can look into. But at the moment, it's on Windows only and it requires Windows 11.
And then the question I accidentally passed basically was just asking about latency. What is the latency like on average? Does the software have some way to kind of counter this? We have the slider, so you can adjust the like basically if you're wireless, like Phil was saying, you might want to increase that to get like even more streamlined, smooth performance. But if you're on a wired connection, you can basically just drag that all the way down to 10. It's just like imperceptible.
Yep.
Unless you are hyper perceptible. In which case, I mean, then there's other solutions. Um, so
you can also, by the way, I mean, I just want to say for something like that, you can also run it the opposite way. Like, let's say you want your headphones connected to the gaming PC, and you still want to hear your alerts and all that stuff on your from your streaming PC. We'll just flip it, right? Basically, have Wavecast send the audio from your streaming PC to your gaming PC. That totally works too. Then you get the benefit of the low latency that you may have, you know, that you might be looking for, and you still hear the audio from your streaming PC, which could be your stream preview, it could be your alerts, it could be Discord, whatever it might be. So you're not locked into one configuration there, but you know, there's just one that we recommend. Yeah.
that is just a funny comment, so I got distracted. They're having audio sync issues with OBS from NDI video sources to their gaming PC to the streaming PC. Would Wavecast help with that?
Probably, maybe.
Especially
mean,
for the ease of setup, right? Like if you're not
definitely that, yeah. But yeah, I think so. I mean, I would, you know, give it a shot. And if it doesn't, you know, our support team is also there to help you.
do you have an app for people? Oh, I wanted to bring this up because maybe you could tell them about the really cool way that you have the mouse between the two. Because I just learned about that and I thought that was really cool.
If we can go back to the demo system here.
This is like tangent, but it's
yeah,
so cool.
little tangent. And this is not made by us, but hey, I'm happy to show you some cool software. So we have, you know, two computers here, and I can move my mouse between them. It's actually, it's unfortunate that
It's backwards.
Yeah, it's backwards. But essentially, I can take one mouse and move it between, you know, and control both systems. How do I do that? It's an app called Synergy. Basically, it's also software. You just install it on both computers, and then you literally, like, it just sends your mouse from one to the other. And you can, you know, drag it around. It's a little bit like having another monitor, except it's only for your mouse and keyboard. You can also paste between them. You can also do things like lock your mouse. So, for example, if I hit F8, the mouse can't go back over anymore. I've locked it.
That's so cool.
I've locked it, and then I can press F8 again, and then I can move it back over to the other computer. So this is the software that I've used for many years, like also, I don't know, 8+ years, if not longer. And it's pretty awesome. Yep, Synergy.
I was just like, I was so amazed when Phil was setting up the demo, because I've never used a dual PC setup other than like Mac and my Windows to like, you know, share my video editing, but I was like, oh my god, like that's so cool. So I figured you guys would appreciate learning about that too. Any plans for a simplified wired connection to reduce latency even more?
Boy, I mean, at that point, you're talking about like basically an actual audio interface with maybe two connections on it, something like that. There's nothing that we're, you know, that we're talking about for that kind of thing. With Ethernet, you're pretty much getting the lowest possible latency outside of a physical hardware connection directly between the two computers, as I just mentioned. So, um, yeah, you're probably going to be fine.
Right. Do you need a capture card for this?
So Wavecast, yeah, that's a great question. Wavecast is only for audio, right? It only sends the game audio, or basically it's, to simplify it, it sends audio from one computer to another, and then it sends microphone audio back to that other computer. It does not send video. So video, you still need some sort of solution for. Of course, we as Elgato, we make capture cards. So you could put your capture card in the stream PC, and then you capture the gaming PC much like you would a game console. That makes it very simple. There's also other solutions out there, yeah, so you still do need something to get the video from your gaming PC to the streaming PC.
Right. Does the license cover multiple PCs? It will
It
cover
does,
both
yeah.
of those PCs. So the two PCs you're trying to use, you can use them
Yeah, you do
between the
not
two.
need to buy Wavecast twice, just once.
Yeah. And then my question that I'm sure they'll ask, if you wanted to move it to a different PC, you reach out to Elgato support for that, right?
Yeah, you can activate it on up to 3 computers. If you want to do more than that, you do need to just reach out to our support team, and they can help you with basically deactivating one of the computers so you can, free up a license.
It's three
I think
computers,
it's 3 computers, 3
systems.
systems,
Yeah,
yeah.
not 3 pairs. So for 3 systems, like let's say you have 2 that you use and maybe 1 that you bring in sometimes.
Yeah.
But again, it only works on 2 PCs. But basically, you can choose, do these 2 connect to these 2, and then if you wanted to, for some reason, maybe upgrade your computer or something, you can reach out to our support team to switch the license to a different 3 systems. All right. Can I send the mic and mix as separate channels?
Well, right now, basically the audio from your gaming PC is all together and goes this direction. Your mic goes that direction. So they're actually opposite right now. They don't go the same way. Yeah, that was my very nice illustration
What if
there.
I want my audio to go that way?
If you are looking
Or
to
that way?
send separate audio channels, that's not something that's currently supported. However, that's something that the audio team has already been looking into, is basically giving you additional options just to send more audio. I have nothing to say in terms of like the dates or timelines or anything like that, or when that feature is coming, but certainly that's something that we heard, especially during the beta phase, that you want to send either specific applications and kind of their own tracks, or you want to send like hardware, or you want to mix and match a little bit more. So
Yeah.
we hear you on that. Yeah.
We need more up audio. We also need more up dog.
What's up, dog?
Hey. Nice. We got him, boys. All right. The next question. The next question. I didn't really understand, so I
Could you
queued it up.
theoretically use Wavecast
smarter
over an
than
ad
me.
hoc network connecting
I don't
both
get this
PCs
one.
directly? Yes, I
What does that
believe
mean?
so. Ad hoc basically means is there's no router in between them. Like you just connect them directly to each other.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm
I think that
learning.
should be possible. I haven't actually tried it myself though. Yeah. And I guess what, the only time you could really do that is if you have, for example, 2 Ethernet ports, right? Like you need one that goes to the internet, and then you have a second that you could then connect to the other computer to create that direct link. Most motherboards, and laptops and stuff like that don't have to. So if you do, that's pretty fancy.
Yeah. And this was Wavelength 3.0 real quick about NDI. You did use the VST.
Were you guys going to talk about NDI? Felt like you guys were going to. Oh, and no, not really. That was more like, well, here's a nice little tangent to talk about Wavecast, because they do somewhat similar functions. And as I kind of showed earlier, you can add an NDI VST into Wavelink, into one of the inputs or out. One of the inputs, and then you can either send that out over your network or capture something in. So it was just a little tangent there.
Does this capture mic source from streaming PC and transfer the mic source to your gaming PC? My main concern is using just one mic.
Yeah, exactly. So check this out. If we go back to the demo system here, so this is the computer here, and actually we're gonna go like this. So this is the microphone here. This is the Wave 3 that's connected right here. I've got it. This is the Wave 3. This is connected to the streaming PC, and this will send it over the network to the gaming PC over here. And then I can go into something like Discord. If I can see it. There we go. So I can go into Discord here and then, or, if I'm in a game and I want to use the local voice chat, I just select Wavecast as the input. And so now it's using the Wave 3 audio going over the network from the streaming PC. So this enables you to use one microphone for both computers, which is really cool.
All right. I'll have you answer one more question, and then we're gonna start the first giveaway.
Ooh, exciting.
Is the wavelength channel also selected as the operating system out?
You can, right? So if we take another look back here, so you can if you wanna do all audio. I think it can just capture that. You can also just send it out to Wavecast. I believe if I go here, yeah. So output device Wavecast, or you can set just the foreground app. So basically, whichever app you currently have selected, could be a game, browser, whatever it might be, or you can have a specific app. So it could be a game, Discord, music, whatever it might be. So you have a couple options here. But yeah, if you do all audio, it's literally the entire system audio. And that's pretty much what I run, because that way, if a notification comes in randomly, something else, there's a warning or like a ping, then, you'll hear that in your headphones.
Hey, so that giveaway, I know Jasmine's cooking that
All
up.
right.
All
Lots
right.
of really good questions. I'm excited to see how y'all start using Wavecast. This has been a long time coming as well.
Yep. And then I'm clarifying something for the giveaway right now, so I'll have more information about that in a moment.
Uh-oh.
No,
Good.
all good. Good stuff. I'm making it better, I think.
Why are y'all at Elgato so goated? Listen, I mean, our team spends a lot of time thinking about how to make products that are innovative, simple, easy to use, yet also powerful, that enable new, basically, opportunities and new things that you as a creator can do. So either it's making something simpler, like with Wavecast, making dual PC audio easier, more simple to understand, also more powerful, right? Because sending that microphone back over the same network, or with WaveLink, entirely rethinking the way that audio software looks and works. We do spend a lot of time there, so appreciate the comment.
Yep. Do both PCs need to be on the same subnet?
Yes, they do need to be on the same subnet, right? They need to be on the same network, so to speak. So that includes same subnetwork, or same subnet, apologies. And yeah, I think that's just about it.
All right. So I'm getting a
Oh.
phone call.
Ring, ring.
About the giveaway.
Who's
Ring,
there?
ring. Look at my
Hello, this is the
Snorlax.
giveaway person.
All right.
I have a thing to give away.
So here is the plan for the giveaway. All right. What we will be doing is we will be picking 2 winners. And then if you win, you can choose if you want to get voice focus or if you want to get Wavecast.
Whoa.
So you can pick which one you want. 2 winners. And we will be starting the giveaway just about now.
Both winners could choose like voice focus, or both could choose Wavecast,
I'm
or
like,
one-on-one.
I don't want to like draw a voice focus and then with the same pool of people draw a Wavecast,
That's fair.
So I want you to pick which one you want for your setup. So we're giving away voice focus or Wavecast starting right now on Twitch. You need to type John Elgato. Shout out Jasmine for the keyword. John Elgato in the chat. Oh my, oh
not
my.
Like Elgato,
oh my
not
God.
like Elgato Week or, Wavecast or Wavelength 3.0. No, it's John Elgato. What a keyword.
Oh my God.
We were so
wild.
close.
But an important note is that this giveaway is only on Twitch. So if you would like to enter the giveaway, you do need to come over to Twitch. You can type it all you want on the YouTube chat. It will not do anything. You need to come over to Twitch if you would like to enter. Type John Elgato in the Twitch chat. And another really important note is you do need to be following. We've had to redraw before. You do need to be following. Please follow. Don't break my heart. But also you should follow because we're streaming all week long. So Monday through Friday, we'll be streaming. We already streamed yesterday, streamed today, every single day at 10 a.m. PT. Tomorrow will be fun. We're actually not going to be on the stream tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. You're going to see someone new and they're going to show you something really cool.
Yeah. So you guys will be having some other hosts tomorrow, so make sure to give them a nice warm welcome. And then on Thursday and Friday, we'll be back at 10 a.m. And I did see it's far gone now in the chat because everybody entered the giveaway. But somebody did mention that, are they seeing this correctly? Like, is Friday like an 8-hour stream? Friday is a very long stream. Friday we're streaming from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. PT. And we'll see you there.
Is that the one that you're the most excited for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll see you there. That will be fun.
It will be.
I just ordered some stuff today, from Prime Day for that. Oh, I also want to do a quick shout out. Tomorrow, our friends at Corsair will actually be doing a Prime Day stream, and I'll be there. I'll be setting up some Elgato products for that.
Oh, so you will be on stream tomorrow.
So I don't rest, Phil. Do you think I sleep? Do you think I rest? But yeah, definitely check out the Corsair stream tomorrow. I just want to give them a quick shout out. They'll be talking about all their really cool Prime Day deals that they've got running today and tomorrow.
All right. Should we draw the winner? I think we've had a couple entries. Just a
Yeah,
couple.
I think like at least 2 people entered.
Also, yeah, October 10th is going to be massive. There's also a new Battlefield game coming out. There's a lot of stuff happening right now.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Big times. And TwitchCon. I can't wait for TwitchCon next weekend.
That too.
All right. So let's go ahead and give Jasmine a countdown.
5,
4,
3,
4,
5.
6,
Wait, wrong way. All right. 5,
4,
3,
2.5.
1,
Wait, whoa, you skipped 2?
2,
1.5.
1.25.
I think Jasmine's not happy right now.
No.
Draw the giveaway.
All right, just do it.
Hey.
Enough yapping. And the winner
is Lord Pansington.
That's number 1.
Okay, well, let's start with 1. Let's start
we're
with
just
1.
starting
You
with
do have
1?
to type
Okay.
something in the chat to redeem your prize. Are you here? Are you
Lord
here?
Pansington.
Make sure to type something to confirm that you are here to redeem your prize. And there you are. Woo! Congratulations. You'll be getting a DM from Elgato. Give Jasmine a moment. I switched up the giveaway on her. So she'll be messaging you. So think in your head, which one do you want? Voice Focus or Wavecast as your prize. Also, let us know. I'm curious. Let us know in the chat. You have to message Elgato as well. Don't forget to message Elgato when they DM you.
I'm very here, and we
But
very
I'm just
see
curious.
it.
Personally, I want to know which one you want. All right, shall we draw the second one?
Yeah, another countdown?
Another countdown?
All right, you start at this time.
5,
4,
3,
2,
1.
2.
1 again?
Yeah. All right.
Hey, winner number 2.
All right, let's do it. Who is the second one?
All right.
DMAC 3D.
Are you here to redeem your prize?
Congratulations, DMAC 3D.
Are you here? Redeem your prize.
You won either you won the choice of Voice Focus. That's an instant upgrade for your microphone, or when you're, let's say, recording a podcast, doing a video, applying it to any audio, or Wavecast.
Yo, that's me.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Pansington and DMAC on winning our giveaways today. But if you guys didn't win, no stress. We are doing giveaways every single day this week and next week during our Discord stage event where we'll be going over all the launches from this week. And at TwitchCon, we'll be doing giveaways not only at the event in person, but you should join our stream on Saturday, the 18th. We'll be streaming, Jasmine and I, causing chaos in the Elgato booth. We'll be streaming to the Elgato Twitch channel and running some giveaways for those of you who are not at TwitchCon. So,
We'll lock the door to the stream pod and just throw away the key.
Yeah. And
Leave you in
then
there.
you can come back later and everything is everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Super cool.
So yeah, you get to pick. By the way, just to clarify the winners, you get to pick. Do you want Wavecast or Voice Focus? Doesn't matter who the other person, like what the other person picks. You guys both get to individually pick Wavecast or Voice Focus as your prize. So yeah.
Any last thoughts?
Stay tuned. Follow us on all of our socials. Join our Discord for all the news, everything going on with Elgato Week. If you're interested in Wave Mic Arm Mark II, you definitely want to check that out because if you buy it by Sunday, you actually get Voice Focus for free.
Oh, that's a good point.
And you can get Wavecast on sale for 25% off until October 21st, which I believe is next. It's in 2 weeks exactly. So you have 2 weeks to get Wavecast for 25% off if you use Elgato-Wavecast-2025. You can also check out the Explorer articles if you want to see that written, and I'm sure somebody will put it in chat.
And if you have any questions about Wavelength 3.0, we answered a lot today. If you just can't wait, head over to Reddit. We've got a post there. I'll be there answering questions. You can already throw your feedback in there.
Yep. And that beta is going to go live on October 16th. So if you're excited to try Wavelength 3.0, even if you do not have a Wave device, you can now use Wavelength with Wavelength 3.0. So this applies to everybody on Windows and Mac. So we're excited for you to try it and share your feedback in the Reddit.
All right.
Yeah. Shall we raid? Jasmine,
I think so.
You got a raid for us? I've got an eye here on the chat.
Hold on, let me start up my stream, and then we can just raid my stream. Okay. I don't really stream anymore that much. Bad face. I should.
And thank you so much for being here, everyone, and for all the wonderful questions today,
They
because
were
that
really
was
great.
huge.
Yeah.
We'll be rating Mimi in just a moment here. So please send them lots of love, and make sure to go drop them a follow and check out their stream. Thank you guys so much for being here, and we will see you tomorrow bright and early at 10 a.m. PT. Well, actually, we won't see you, but I'll be in chat, so I'll see you in chat. For our colleagues, we'll be streaming at 10 a.m. PT to show you what's new tomorrow. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.